keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gigabyte for Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new GigaLife app and choose free games.
Mm-hmm. We do have our official sponsor, Realme, the Philippines' fastest charging smartphone, the Realme 7 Pro, alongside the Realme 7, will be launching this 30th of September, 12 noon, on Realme's official Facebook page. Join the Realme revolution now.
Biggest thanks to our official sponsor, Gillette. Get free diamonds with purchase of Gillette's Mach 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide.
Our partner in esports, Paymaya. Our partner in esports, Paymaya. Just put it there
Get
for a bit.
5%
Get
cash back.
5% cash back
Yeah.
when you secure
Your gaming pins.
gaming pins.
So via
Oh, yeah.
Paymaya, ladies and gentlemen, of course.
Get 50
Yeah.
peso credits
Yeah,
from
the 50. Yeah,
Paymaya.
that was the last
Yeah.
promotion. We got the 50 pesos credits
When
now.
you download and register using the code
Oh,
MLBB, terms and conditions apply.
awesome. Of course, we got our partner in esports. We got TikTok Live. Check out MLBB's channel in TikTok Live. And of course, get a chance to win legendary prizes from Mobile Legends. We also got our official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, here like a pro. And of course, the MPL-PH Season 6 is powered by Moonton. So this is it. We did
Mm-hmm.
mention this is the very first day of our 6 week, ladies and gentlemen, way past halfway and very close to the conclusion of our regular season. Only just 3 weeks remaining, including this one.
Including this one.
Yeah, and we have two series set for today for this day number one. Let's not wait anymore. We got Bren versus Omega. On to the first insights of this, Butters. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's a battle of adjustment. We only had our Project Next patch for
Just deployed
just
this week,
deployed
right?
a couple of days
Yes,
before the MPL, and
yes,
I think the coaches had a lot of sleepless nights just studying it, and even the
indeed.
players.
Indeed, even the players actually, and that would be one of the biggest shake-off during this regular season. I would dare say it would impact our current standings happening right now. And of course, to check the standings of our playing teams, we got Bren Esports sitting on top of their group, actually sitting on top of the whole regular season here with an aggregated points of 20. Next to them within their group would be of Omega. Of course, accounting for other groups or for the totality of the regular season, we have Aura PH following up onto Bren sitting at 18 points. You also have the status there for the other teams within each group. Take note, guys, that again, in this round robin format between the groups, there will be a
Mm-hmm.
double round robin system
Mm-hmm.
within the groups, and rather between the groups we would have a single round robin
Yeah.
system. So you'd be expecting them to face at least once if you are talking about teams in different groups.
Mm-hmm. So right now, looking at the groups, Shinbu, we do have Bren Esports and Omega, the frontliners of Group B. Now, 16 points to 20 points. Bren Esports sitting here comfortably,
Yeah.
even if they lose this 2-0, which
Yes.
I don't think they will let that happen. Omega will still sit at 19 points.
Yeah. Yes. And that would be a big boost in their points.
Mm-hmm.
That is for some reason, despite having consecutive wins here for Brand Esports, it's like someone very capable of actually getting close to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting close to them, and still that is a clear statement that you cannot be so confident. I mean, I'm not saying Brand is confident. I feel like they're just really strong, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you cannot be too overconfident in whatever lead you have established for the regular season, because even with just within a week you can be offset heavily
Yeah.
by 6 points, right?
Yep, it's really just a basic math. And if you think about it, if you go complacent at week number 6, it is going to be a big problem for you.
It is, and now we get our curiosity that lies, of course, to the undefeated team, Bren Esports.
Madi-describe yung team ko na malakas kasi lahat ng kasali na sa MPL na makakalaban namin may na ready. Kasi ready na kami sa MPL Season 6. Yung kakampi namin si Flap, bago namin yes. 3 days hindi naliligo. Meron kaming TZ Nation. May connection kami bawat players dito, sa iba wala.
Meron kami isang coach na kakaibang mag-isip. Hindi basta-basta.
Meron kaming experience may champion ng MPL 1, MPL 2, MPL 3, tapos may Sigil Gold medalist din, tsaka may bago kaming player na ako sa Panalo.
Para sa akin, walang threat kasi baka TZ Nation na yung kaharap nyo, pre.
TZ Nation. I actually love that. I mean, there will be some heavy branding and nice branding as well from the Bren Esports organization. And of course, for this lineup card, TZ, Rebo, Flap, TZ, Few, Losty, and EJ. And of course, I would like to have a few acknowledge actually his each and every one of his members here being the captain, knowing that they have champions from different seasons, they
Mm-hmm.
have veterans from different seasons. As far as SEA Games gold medalists, they have it in their lineup, and someone who is hungry to win,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the form of Flap TZ, right?
It's all about chemistry. Now, when you think about it, if you have season 1, season 2, season 3 champions, then a couple of gold medalists, that is a superstar team.
Yeah.
And sometimes ego can be a part of what brings you down. But Bren Esports, they don't really think about it. They're glued together.
Yeah.
They know how they play.
Yeah.
They keep themselves leveled, and they are showing results.
Yes, they're showing results, and I'm actually very curious of how will they adapt really onto this
Mm-hmm.
new Project Next patch. It is so exciting. I mean, if you're accounting for the Project Next patch, yes, we can all theory craft. I actually did my own theory crafting, but shied away from publishing it because I think the best way to really enforce your understanding of the Project Next patch is to just look at the teams. It's much
Mm-hmm.
solid, right? Because
Yeah.
they've spent good time still trying to understand it and practice it. But of course, I know we have different types for here. Let's check the Omega.
Describe ko yung team ngayon as Giyang. Giyang Manalo.
Describe ko po yung team ko as family kasi po sila po yung second family ko. Kasi sila po yung lagi ko kasama ngayon.
Gigil. Kumbaga this season, gigil kami mag-champion and tingin ko ito na yung season na yun.
Mga sawa na matalo. Kaya gagalingan namin ngayong season 6.
Magkakapatid po dahil po komportable po kami sa isa't isa tsaka po pag nag-aaway ay magkakabati agad.
Chemistry namin lahat, kami anim. Parang pag kami naglaro parang kaya namin manalo kahit sino ko lang. Gusto ko lang din malaman kung papalag ba yung lineup nila na yun sa akin.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Omega roster lineup at GC, Toshi, Kurt Z, Hayes, Heath, and Kenji. I really love this. I love the fact that right after the deployment of the Project Next patch, what we have is these two teams, facing. I think it's a nice reference for all teams because I would be disappointed. I know this is too subjective, but I would be disappointed if I don't see something prepared here for these two teams because I totally expect these two teams to be prepared, even though it's very difficult to do it. Right?
This is poetic justice, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Bren Esports, they show that no matter what patch, no matter what ban system you're using, they are going to dominate. But for Omega, they're having a hard time. They're having trouble to, adjust a bit with the 10 ban setup. They got comfortable with it. They showed results. But right now, Omega, there is another hurdle in front of them. And it's bigger than Bren Esports because it's the patch of the game itself.
It's the patch of the game itself, especially on a team who have feels like they have patches for breakfast. Actually, Omega, right? They always try something new. They're kind of the best one to really understand the patch on a different scale compared to other teams. And of course, in this juncture, we'd like to ask you guys to get your phones and of course scan the QR code up top, up above Kenji. That's actually that will get you into a landing page of the theme of the respective team. And you can check out their contents, you can check out their running stats, information, and you just show your support for the teams. And there we go. We got our teams featured right now. That's Bren and Omega for you. Later on, we're gonna be looking into their head-to-head stats. The proper breakdown for this game, seeing their history, and seeing the available possibilities as well of what will happen in this episode, in this week, where we have the Project Next patch.
I'm excited, although they can't really use the revamped
Yes, the
heroes
revamped
from
heroes,
Project
yeah.
Next. But I think there is substantial changes into the game. Number one, jungling. Number two, some of the heroes were given a lot of buffs. namely Tigreal
Yeah.
and Alice.
Yes. 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 And that's the thing. It's not necessarily a revamp for some,
Yeah,
right? There's still some sizable patch and nerfs out there, and there is a very big changes within the lanes, within the jungle, and it's actually finding that fine line. It's actually reading
yeah.
between the lines. It's actually reading between the lines. What is the hidden message? What would be the most effective tactic available for this project next patch? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually asking you guys, our viewers, to feel free to send your
Mm-hmm.
insights, comment out there. Make it insightful, right? Make our chat box insightful, and tell us, and share what are your theory crafts. What are the possible rotations? What heroes will rise up for this project next patch. And we got the head to head here for these two teams. We got Bren, we got Omega. It is still mainly dominated on by Bren, but mind you guys, I just want to remind that these numbers are pretty big on both stats as both teams has been gaining. Well, there's an obvious momentum onto Bren, but Omega is now clearly establishing momentum.
Mm-hmm. Omega, if you see these stats, these are post pre Project Next. So there's going to be a huge change in the pacing of the game right now. So Shinbu, Omega, they got hold of what they want, and they really just got, you know, the main idea of how to play their game. They tried playing with Kenji, they tried playing with Curtizi, they mix and match, and now they have the perfect setup.
Yeah,
Now,
they got the perfect setup. But Butters here.
mm,
I feel like in these times of unrest, especially with the patch, in these times of uncertainty, especially with the patch, I feel like that kind of mix up would be nice. Just accounting for your lineup, just accounting for your teams. It would be nice to face this kind of patches, right?
mm-hmm. And to be honest, I know Bren has a certain understanding. Now, the question is, how does Bren see it? Because Bren has been one of the most creative teams in terms of rotation. They
Yeah.
created their own play style and they thrived in it.
Yes.
But for the side of Omega, they were really just trying to see what will happen, trying to shake things up. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm expecting more from Omega, but I'm expecting a lot from Bren as well.
Also expecting a lot on this matchup.
Yeah.
We have a very beautiful matchup here, even though they have different roles for now on our previous role allocations. But we're expecting the role allocations to change, especially with Project Next. We got Rebo versus Hayes here. These are actually former brothers, ladies and gentlemen, in the form of Bren, in the form of the Aether main team. And both has very, very deep respect from each other. Both are SEA Games gold medalists as well and played for the Philippine team,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they're rolling with really really nice KD, especially for their role. That's number 5 for a fighter position. Usually top 10 or top 8 is always handled by the carry position,
Yeah.
right? And very very high KD as well for Hayes here, number 10 on the support position. You don't see that often.
Former teammates, that legendary Aether main team from season one that
Yeah,
swept the whole
the
landscape
whole
of the
landscape of
MLBB scene.
MLBB. Yeah.
Now, on the different sides of the map, it's not the first time that they met each other under the flag of another organization. But you know what? I heard with Hayes in a certain interview that one of the players that he respects the most is Rebo.
Yeah.
That's because Rebo doesn't die as much. And you can see it in the KDA. Rebo actually was the one with the least deaths way back season one. So
Mm.
it just shows that this guy, even if you put him in an offlane role, in a not safe role, he's gonna do well.
Yeah, there's just heavy consistency on the guy for Rebo. It's not just consistency based off based off being safe,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's also consistency that when there's an opportunity to really strike, to be aggressive and to really bring the fight against your enemy. That's for Rebo, because I cannot really consider Rebo, despite having very low death, I really cannot consider Rebo as a conservative player. I
Yeah,
find him as an aggressive player still.
really aggressive. And it's the thing about the Bren Esports playstyle. They do not really put their fighters under the weather.
Yeah.
Like they try to poke as much as possible, and if it's the right time for the offlaners to just jump in, they will do that. If they deplete the resources of the enemy team, skills, cooldowns, everything in between, Rebo and Flap thrives.
They will, yeah, especially for the side lane right now, which has more resources.
Mm-hmm.
It's your choice. You
It's
you
your
just
choice.
eager you just eager either go for the exp lane, you just
Mm-hmm.
either go for the gold lane here. I'm curious how these two, consistent and willing
Mm-hmm.
to fight players in the form of Flapsy and Rebo capitalize on this one, because on the other side you have Toshi as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm, this is quite interesting for Curtsy and Toshi.
Toshi,
This is uh this is not a new setup for them. They've met this setup before. They met this duo before,
yeah,
and they know well that these two are very capable for the side of Bren Esports. But Bren Esports, these are very talented players as well. If they do not respect these two players from Omega, they're gonna punish them.
yeah, yeah. They're totally gonna punish them. They are totally, if you're not careful, you'll be bite. You'll receive a bite from Toshi and Courtesy there. There is also some inherent weakness as well for Toshi and Courtesy. For example, like when they are behind, they have the tendency of really just committing to that aggressive play style
Mm-hmm.
and not accounting of how behind they are. And that's why like there's no coming back, or there's no breathing room for them in terms of play style, in terms of game pacing. And again, this is speaking of when they are behind. Despite Omega having a playstyle of bit slow, low kill count, always calculated. And that's what I love about matches like this. The last time they actually fought, it was
Mm-hmm.
a low kill count game.
It was a
It involved a lot of rotation, just a vision, but very low kill count, right?
Mhm. uh and both of the teams here know what to do, and that's how you gauge a high level game. If it has a low kill count, then that means both of the teams here are playing high level MLBB. But the thing is, for high level MLBB, you don't really beat them on the kill count. You beat them on how you jungle choke.
Yeah,
You get the objectives. You
yeah.
secure everything for your team. And when the time comes that you really just need to push, that's a time where you can get those kills.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what these teams are after. Those timings, getting that push,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because even though they have the good KDAs, they have nice skill counts and stuff like that. They know the heaviest value for Mobile Legends. Even back then, even before the Project Next patch, it's always objectives,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's always just getting that pressure on, just getting your map unlocked, just making sure that the enemy has little and little access to their resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a basic thing. It's kind of a fundamental thing for MLBB, and I love how these two veteran and well-versed teams just sticks to it. The curiosity will lie on the experimental part
Mm-hmm.
of the uh, Project Next patch,
Project Next.
right? I mean, who's experiment? Who's willing to make a gamble in terms of draft, in terms of approach, in
Mm.
terms of playstyle, right? Will be seeing the what is suggested to be still the effective playstyle right now, because I kind of agree on that part.
Mm-hmm.
The 1-3-1 setup, I do believe that even in the Project Next patch, I think the 1-3-1 setup is still very viable. It's just that you have to tweak it a bit. It's not really 1-3-1. It's starting to become like 3-1-1
Mm-hmm.
or 3-1-1 or 1-1-3.
Yeah.
Back then, the 1-3-1 setup. Here's the thing. Okay, I actually want to share this
Okay,
already, right?
go ahead.
So back then, before the Project Next patch, you guys totally understand the 1-3-1 setup, right?
Mhm.
You guys
course.
already know how the 1-3-1 setup works. You put three players in the mid lane and get an advantage on whatever lane you go, right? In the jungle, you get an advantage of three versus you get a worse fight of 3 versus 3. Worst comes to worst, the side lane will respond. You get a jungle fight of 4 players online, right? Because the side lane also participates. Originally, the rotation would also go like this: 1-3-1, then you get a 4-0-1, or you get a 1-0-4,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how the three-man unit will rotate. Now, we have the Project Next patch, and again, guys, just a quick disclaimer: we're still on the theory crafting phase.
We are still in the
We are
pure
still on the theory
phase.
crafting phase. I don't believe that really something is set in stone on here.
No,
The
no.
only way to really gauge it is to watch games, observe, and give it a month. I would say at least a month, not even 2 weeks actually. At least give it a month to really have the patch and the playstyle, especially with this massive change, normalized. Now, going back, I still believe, especially with Honda B suggesting it, I still believe that we are still in the 1-3-1, except that the 1-3-1 config will not anymore translate to a 4-0-1 or 1-0-4.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part where it is all script. I believe that what will happen is 1-3-1, but we will have 1-3-1, and instead of three members rotating, we only have two members rotating,
Mm-hmm.
and that's flexible as well.
Yes.
You don't want to have someone missing on a lane. So you will have 3-1-1 after the 1-3-1 or 1-1-3.
Mhm.
No more 4-0-1, no more 1-0-4. Because again, why? If you let go of a lane, if you allow a lane to be zero, you allow one player who's in the lane to take the turret shield.
Mhm.
And the turret shield is one of the biggest source of gold right now in the game. Yes, I would even dare say more than the gold lane, honestly.
Mhm.
I think the turret shield is one of the biggest changes right there because
Yeah.
that's a big chunk of gold really, and that
That
would change your playstyle. You'd want to get that gold,
and you
right?
you really have to be snappy in getting those skills. I mean, if you're a three-man team going to the top lane or the bot lane, what makes you think that the other team would just
Would just sit
imitate
by, right?
imitate it or
Yeah,
mirror it?
yeah,
Some teams will just sit by and just get the plating in front of them.
yeah.
And how do you fight that? I mean, if you do not get
The kill with
the
four-man
kill
unit,
with a
yeah,
four-man unit and you get pushed back,
yeah.
then that's going to be a big blow into your economy.
Yes, yes, and that's the thing. That again, guys, this is just theory crafting still. There's, I think, the 2-2-1 theory crafts are also valid. The 1-2-2 theory crafts are also
Hmm.
valid. We have a 1-1-1 theory craft where you get two members rolling
Yeah.
on the jungle, right? That's also valid.
A lot of people are claiming that they have the formula, they have this, they have that,
Yeah,
but still,
it's best to.
you have to realize that being first doesn't really make you correct.
Yes.
Being first doesn't really make you correct.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes. That's
there's still experiment on it.
yeah.
You still
The
need
best
your
way is to look.
yeah. You have your sample sizes,
Yeah,
and if you get a
enough.
current sample size, you get enough.
You get
Then
enough
that's the only time that you can tell us,
that
or
it
you
is
can tell people
reliable.
that it's reliable,
Reliable.
that it's
Yeah,
the meta
yeah.
most effective tactic available.
Yeah, an answer is, an answer can be an answer. No problem with that,
Yeah,
right? But the question is the answer reliable?
yeah.
Again, this goes way back from the lesson of statistics. Like if you get a certain statistic, there is a level of significance.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say the level of significance, or it is kind of, or maybe I'm mixing some things up, but there is clearly a required another there is another requirement for that answer
Mm-hmm.
or for that statistic, and that is the reliability. How
Reliability.
confident you are with your answer. And actually statistics can answer that. Like you could go with just 90% reliable, 95% reliable, so you're leaving out like around 5% room for
But
error.
still, there is 5%.
Yeah,
5% is still 5%.
5% is still
And
5%, even 1%. Yeah,
if someone makes sure that, we can abuse that 5% and 30 to our favor,
yeah,
and they find another rotation that's more effective,
yeah.
then what do? Then that means it's not the most effective tactic available
Yes,
now.
yes. You'd have to test again, right?
So there are a lot of tactics available right now on social media, on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of people are claiming that they are correct,
yeah.
but the thing is, I think what the better thing to do is to check the coaches, check the players
Check
on
the
their
players.
understanding,
Read everything.
read
Read all of
everything,
that.
read all of that.
Hear from them, but watch the games.
Hmm.
That's the best way.
Mhm.
Like read from them. Check out whose answer is the most correct, who's the most appropriate, and I think that's the best way to go about
And
it.
at times, Shinbu, it's not about who's the most correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes I agree that whoever is whatever the answer is to your question that you're most comfortable with,
Yeah.
sometimes it makes that correct
It makes
already.
it works, right? I
If
mean,
it
it would
works,
work for you. I mean, we've seen it in certain games, like not following the meta, but just choosing your the
I,
most comfortable approach, and it
I,
still works,
I
right?
mean, Balmond on Onyx.
Onic,
I
yeah.
mean, it's not really one of the best
Direct,
heroes right now.
direct on
Yeah,
NXP,
direct on
direct on
NXP.
NXP, right?
So,
So
so
yeah, so
a lot of things happening, and
totally.
I am just excited to head straight to the drafting because you know what? There's a lot of emphasis now into winning
Yeah.
your draft just because the lanes are more reliable,
Yeah.
and if you can zone out people on your lane, then that means they're not getting the gold or the XP intended for them.
And well, if there's 100% thing, the only 100% thing are those written in the patch.
Yeah, those are the 100%
That's 100% thing. Like if there are like two or three of you hitting in the jungle camps,
Mm.
the jungle camps will increase. Will have a damage reduction, right?
Yeah.
You will have a damage reduction of 15% cap at 60%. So there is that. Maybe you'd want to reconsider trying to
Yeah.
hit a jungle camp with
And
two members and just focus on your lane.
and that deliberately itself slows down the funnel strategy.
Yeah,
It slows it down.
yeah,
Not really kills it,
yeah.
but it slows it down.
Slows us down, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see. We are officially into the draft, guys. Also, I think a good percentage here is that we have. I'm Here's one thing. I would say it is also 100% because it's not really a statistic. The direction of the patch. I think the patch is totally suggesting to pick up a jungler,
Hmm.
decide on a jungler, right? For this, so we'd be seeing a retribution. We'd be seeing at least one retribution now.
I'm
I
saying
think
people get two
even
retributions.
two
Yeah.
retributions. They're rolling. So here's the thing. I'm curious about lineups without retribution now because I think it would be a very difficult lineup,
Mm.
right? Because you get a lot of benefit by having
Yeah.
retribution, especially if you're doing
And
the jungle.
Shinbu, there's a thing about side laners getting the Raptor Machete as well.
Yeah.
So
They're actually doing it.
now they don't have that option anymore. I mean, if they go retribution, then that's fine. You can go for
Yeah,
Raptor Machete.
but still, your lane.
But still,
you
you
don't.
won't have the flicker.
Yeah, I won't
You
have the
won't have
flicker.
the purify. You won't
And
have the others.
the enemy on your lane will have the flicker. We might have execute. And
Yeah.
if they win their lane, because right now I would say this is 100%. You have to win your lane.
Ah,
You have to
I-
win. I mean, I won't say
it's
100%.
almost always certain that you have to win
I
your
digress.
lane.
I digress. It's not a 100%, but the patch also suggests. I'm
Yes.
pretty certain about it. You win your lane.
And
You should
eh,
win your lane.
the patch tells us a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Win your lane,
yeah.
fight, fight, fight.
Oh yeah, fight for your lane, because if you really lose that lane, your enemy will have a very big advantage to
Yeah.
you. They don't even need to rotate. They just need to push.
They
They
just
just need
need
to
to
push.
push.
And here's the thing, because of that shield mechanic, Butters, you get the shield mechanic,
Yeah.
right? If you shove a lane, you get the shield mechanic. You get more gold as you hit the shield. And the shield means maximum uptime for the turret. If you have maximum uptime for the turret and you're dead, you're not in your lane, that means your turret will be killing the minions.
Mhm.
So, that's a lot of uptime for the turret. That's a lot of enemy minions that might not be put into your pocket, right? So,
Yeah.
that's, again, your enemy got lot of gold, and they have a lot of ways to deny you of gold as
Mm.
well. And that's the thing. Win your lane. I would suggest win your lane.
Yeah, and look at this. Omega going straight for the Jawhead and the Ruby. Now, these are two dueling side laners.
Yeah.
If they are gonna go to the side lane, I mean, Jawhead is one of those picks that can go to the jungle as well. And we've been talking about this. Jawhead is probably one of the best
Wow.
roles or best heroes to fill that jungle role.
Look at this, Butters. It's the first time we're seeing the likes of Ruby getting first pick now,
Yeah.
right? Project Next.
This is Project Next, and if you think about it, for the side of Bren Esports, you have Yu Zhong, Chango, and Cho. So I'm guessing for Bren Esports that this Cho is going to be the tank, but Chango, this is something that we have to see because it's not as strong as the previous patch.
Yeah.
There are some nerfs that happened.
Yeah, yes.
It gave her capability to fight early and to give slows a bit of a hit. So I'm kind of 50-50 on the Chang'o, but still the meteor shower is the same.
Very strong in the lane.
Oh,
Establish a
yeah.
lot of pressure in the lane. It actually clears the lane
Mhm.
quite quickly. Also flexible on the side lanes. Very rewarding if you get into the AXP lane. Totally okay even if you put on the
Mhm.
gold lane. But I do believe, Chango is just very, very safe right now for
Mhm.
the running meta. Although if players starts mastering or remastering the assassin role once again, which is heavily suggested for the jungle position,
Mhm.
Chango might struggle. But we'll see. Again, we are not yet into the normalizing phase of the project next patch, right? We're just on the rising action. We're yet to witness the effect and
There-
impact of project
Yeah.
next.
Still, the climax is still to be hit.
Is still to be hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, here's one thing, Butters. I just realized we don't have to suffer on the Digi anymore.
yeah.
Bye-bye Digi strategy. No more bans on Bren Esports for Digi.
Yeah. And I think the Diggy strat for the most part, or that Diggy ban for the most part, is a
Yeah.
waste.
Yeah, it's a totally
You
a
can
waste.
you can ban out another hero that's really strong for that slot.
I'm
But
just glad. I'm just glad we
then,
won't see it again.
I mean, it was creative,
Yeah,
but
it was creative, but
it got old
yeah,
fast.
got old, so it didn't age well.
It didn't age well. It didn't really age well. So Alice is here. There's a significant rework on this Alice. Now her ultimate is toggled. It doesn't have a cooldown anymore. So you
Ooh.
can just pick it up, and there is a magic mana regeneration for her orbs. So
Mm.
if you get those, you get more lane sustain, and you actually can fight against those heroes. Oh
That's
well,
a pretty strong
it's pretty
adjustment. All
strong.
right.
And the Blood Ode, it it had a bit of a decrease in
Mm.
terms of cooldown, so
Mm.
it can be spammable right now, even especially with that new
Glowing
passive
blood.
that you get
Ah,
mana regeneration with the orbs.
yes. Well, let's wait, ladies and gentlemen, here as I cannot but feel Bren Esports is yet to reveal their two cores here. Normally, we're starting to acknowledge two cores in the game, one being the jungler
Mm-hmm.
and one being the full carry, but sometimes they still do the
Mm.
1-3-1. All right, we're seeing a Claude.
Of course, Claude. It's uh, it's one of those heroes that, how do I say this, can get the retribution without even thinking that they're gonna suffer, because Claude with the BMI can just go in and out, use the Blazing Duet, and just get out of harm's way if he has to. That's how the Claude maneuvers. So if you see like Alice or Ling throwing out their ultimates, you can just go in and try to kill everyone.
But you know, yeah, and the thing here matters about Claude is there's just really a lot of gold in the early game.
Yeah.
And Claude, all Claude needs is, well, two items really, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even that one item easily accelerates your way towards your second core item. But I love this. Right now we are accounting for the setup of these two teams. Clearly, both of them are utilizing single cores only in the
Mm-hmm.
form of Claude for Bren Esports, Ling still for Omega. I cannot but feel that these two carries are also the junglers.
Mm.
Right? Will be the retribution holdup.
Whew. So this is surprising. They still go for that certain 1-3-1 setup, but they secured good off laners, side laners
Side
on their
lanes, yeah.
side. And if you can see here, Rebo is with the Popol and Koopa side lane. I expected this to just come out because there's this thing about Popol and Koopa that they can lane dominate
Yeah.
as long as Popol and Koopa are together.
Yeah, and the support would still be Chango, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chango. So, if I'm not mistaken, on the 113 or on the 131 setup for the project next patch, you have the mid laner for the support
Mm-hmm.
position. That's the one you're gonna be leaving here, and occasionally the jungler, the one with the retribution, would just visit the side lanes.
Yeah.
Actually, not the mid lane, because why side lane? He wants to target the gold lane. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
you want to target those shield, and again, try to make a push using a 113 setup. And again, Chango is really good on maintaining your lane. It's a very, very hard to push against the Chango if you're just
Mm.
relying on the minions, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just very, very excited about this match. I'm actually glad not much has been changed from our
Not
previous
much.
team setups, but still, change is change, and change will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Change will be there.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, change will be there for
change,
for
change.
the whole game, for the whole
Yeah.
game, right?
Uh, it's still the same idea that Bren has been living on. That Chang-O and Cho set up the concussive blast, and the pokes coming out from the Chang-O. They have high first blood capability here to the side of Bren Esports. So I think Omega should look out for a flicker coming out from the Cho.
Ah, yeah. Well, that is expected.
That is
It's
expected.
Lusty.
It's
It's Lusty
Lusty. I
playing
mean,
it, right?
Lusty will just try to go for that trade.
Yeah, yeah,
It's how he goes. Like
yeah.
there's this certain thing about Lusty that it's okay if he dies as long as the enemy dies first.
Yeah, is disrupted, and yeah. There are 2 points of heavy conflict here, guys. One would be of the jungle, but more so on side lanes. I think on the side lane, especially on the gold lane,
Mm-hmm.
especially when a team is trying to get a good chunk out of that bonus gold with the shield protection,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you'd want to account that, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. Right now we just have a technical pause here for our teams, ladies and gentlemen. And so far, well, we have to account for the first rotation.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We have to account what jungle comp will they be targeting first? Who will be assisting who? Right. I do
Mhm.
believe there is still a leash mechanic here, right?
Mm.
But
Of
again,
course.
it's totally not encouraged to always and always go with your jungler because again there is a damage reduction
Mhm.
in the creeps.
I think in a way, Shinbu, not much will change because the thing is for the previous meta, you clearly have to put it in a way or see it in a way that after the first wave, the support doesn't really go out of lane anymore.
Yeah,
What the
yes.
support does is she tries to clear that second wave alone
Yeah,
so that
just the
they
mid
can
lane.
he can get full minion gold
Yes, yes.
XP
Yes.
and he can maneuver to level 4
Yeah.
and get that mask going for on his side if they're ever gonna go for that
Yeah.
dual mask
Well,
setup.
here we go. Let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be our very first game for the very first series of the very first day of the 6th week of the MPL Season 6 regular season. Bren Esports versus Omega. All right, so Cloud will be targeting the Fiend here, whereas Hajizi will start on the purple buff. Both
And
are just doing assist here for the lane because you'd want to at least get lane advantage.
oh,
Yeah, force a flicker against Few. Nice gank there by Hit.
did you notice something new for a few?
Right, what?
He went straight for the second skill first, not the first.
Ah, all right.
Because the thing is, there is a plus 20 bonus on your physical
Yeah, on
attacks.
your physical, I actually go with the second skill
Yeah,
first if I want to win the
yeah.
lane,
But
honestly.
for some actually, they go for the first
For the
skill
first, right?
because it's a bit of a poke.
Yeah.
But now, I think it's more reliable to just go for this because in the early levels, that 20 damage
Yeah, look at that.
actually makes sense.
Yeah, and especially on your attack for the minions. Hit is starting to disrupt more than Lusty here, honestly. All
Yeah.
right.
And look at this, they're sticking together and they know that they have to leave
They
Carl.
have to leave Carl,
They
yeah.
have to leave Carl because if Carl doesn't get that alone, it will take a lot of time. And 15 plus 15, that's 30% of damage view.
Whoa, so it's gonna be Few that will be their target here. Hit once again, I think he's more disruptive here than Lusty. And there's also a good follow up there by Hajizi.
So I'm guessing there's a bit of a discord or what do you call, how to say this problem on the side of Bren Esports because of what he did. He delayed. He actually delayed
Yeah.
the farm here of Kartzi. I mean, Kartzi didn't really get affected that much because Kartzi has the retribution. But then again, someone died on their side just because of that rotation.
And that's how they will solve heal.
Yeah.
What they did, they sent Plat TC with the execute.
Yeah.
So that there's an early burst onto heal. Bye-bye hit.
hmm So, okay. So for the side of Bren Esports, as long as this game is dragging, they will get more out of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's still
Still
a
a
cloud.
cloud. Yeah. And you still want to account for that. And I think Kartzi knows what's up. Kartzi knows that hit is just there trying to disrupt. And so far, yeah, we still have okay. So there is the first rotation by Karji. Note for the fact that he is not accompanied by Lusty here.
And look
Oh,
at Flapsy here.
Lapsy here forced to use the Black Dragon form, and he is the one being forced out of his
And
lane. This is the 1-1-3 setup, and there goes Hit. He knows what's up. And this is the 1-1-3 setup we are talking about. Not anymore 1-0-4 or 4-0-1.
Mhm.
You really want someone stay in the mid and just allocate two members to gank aside.
You just have to make your pick of Snappy, and this
Yeah.
is what Omega is doing. Carl getting caught out, BMI just to get out,
Yeah.
and XP lane is on top. Gold lane is on top. XP lane is at bot.
Yeah, and for that part, it is Omega's gonna be leading, right? Currency is kind of untouchable. There's Lusty. All right, direct kick.
And look at this. They just went in.
Yeah,
Lusty.
it just went in, right?
I mean, if you guys, some of the viewers here are having trouble to dictate how to see whether that's the gold lane or the XP lane without looking at the map. I know that some of the people don't really, pick up
Uh,
as fast as other people.
yeah,
You can just check the wagons on what they're carrying.
yeah,
If they're carrying
yes.
gold,
Or
that's the gold
scrolls.
lane.
Yeah.
If they're carrying the scrolls, that's the
That's
XP
the
lane.
EXP lane, guys. So right now, for your viewing experience, the EXP lane is on the bottom lane. The gold lane is actually up top.
Yeah.
All right, so that's actually a quick attempt there by Kalzi on trying to visit the lane of Kurtz so that he can get at least some chunk of that gold lane. A nice and very beautiful flicker to the ejector down onto Few, and now Few is the one getting punished here. And that's what we are talking about. Sometimes that very safe mid laner might suffer from assassins, and Kurtz here just going for the wrap around is still gonna be the target here, and that's a
Oh.
very big win there by Omega.
Oh, this is
Ah,
actually surprising.
yeah,
Omega making sure that they make this game count. And remember, Onyx Esports is the only one to take a chip in the shoulder here of Bren Esports. Their invulnerable state, Onyx Esports was able to take one game away from them. But this is the Gillette instant replay hashtag shave the day. Look at how dominant the Omega squad in terms of getting their pickoffs. They go straight for Kartzi after. Haji didn't even bother going for a flap
yeah.
because he knows that flap is in a bad situation anyway. So why contribute when I can go straight for Card?
Yeah, yeah. It's always rewarding to just target Carl. Always rewarding to just target the main carry here of the enemy team. Still, few will just be doing the same thing over and over again.
Mhm.
Even though he died, even though there's a lot of pressure established by Omega towards him, his ult will still be online. As long as he got his level 4, that's totally spammable. There's still a lot of control here for this mid lane side. And the thing here is that a heavy gold was given to the chunk of Omega on the top lane side. That is already a very early turret secured. Actually, side lanes. I forgot on the side lane side. So we're kind of correct on the accounting for the side laners here of Omega being quite explosive
Mhm.
against Brent.
And Bren Esports, they're not fighting in any way here. They're just letting Omega get whatever they want right now because they know if they play the long game, they will have a certain
Yeah.
amount of advantage
Yes.
as long
Yes.
as Kartzi doesn't go
Yes.
down as much.
Remember, guys, in this running meta as well, in this new update, oh no, Curtsy get caught. There might be a catch there by HGC, not gonna be competing for a dive. But again, for this project next patch, games will be longer.
Games will be longer.
Games will be
One,
longer because of the turret protection.
because you know what, Shinbu, that 3 minute mark,
Yeah.
that 210-second setup for
Yeah.
that turret plating, that turret shield, it's really just gonna slow down people.
Yeah, it's really just gonna slow down people, even in the rotations, because you have to really stay on your lane. You have to maintain, if not push or shove or win a lane, and that's what's happening here. Again, this is the strat of the jungle. Look at that. The side lanes are suffering, but because of Pew here, really no pressure can be established here for the side lane without having to dive. But there is a very effective diver onto the side of Omega, and that would be of hit onto the side. That's gonna be it, Carl Z. That's gonna be the Yuzong going down, and
Oh,
ZZ goes for the dive. He will be casting the Blade of Tempest just to walk away. And still, what Omega is doing is they know their tempo and they're choking Bren here. Should ever Bren tries to engage, they will punish them.
Ice Queen Wand on few. That will give him the certain utility that he needs, especially into clearing out these waves. They are not letting Omega get this middle lane turret. I like how they're playing this. They're not really putting Omega in front for the map control setup that they're going for right now. It will be very problematic for Bren Esports to just give this out because the thing is, those side lanes or side minions, side jungles, it's going to be open
Yeah,
for the side of Omega.
and this is the problem of you trying to rotate actually onto another lane. Omega here with the 22 seconds timer, I think they might be able to get a shove, to get a push here for the mid lane side. And also, I want to account of the Ruby pick. I think Ruby will shine heavily on this patch. Ruby is really good at doing
Mhm.
lane maintenance. She's really really good whenever someone is trying to dive her under turret. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know that combo, that flicker, especially of that We Are Angry ultimate. And yeah, I think the side lanes really, I mean, as evident and as visible here for our game, the side lane really is where the Omega's win is coming from.
Mhm.
We might be seeing the very first one-sided lose here of Bren.
It's 3-4-3 in terms of the turtle department here for the
Yeah,
side of Omega.
yeah.
And you know what? Lusty isn't really
Oh
getting
my God.
this dominance into just uh going in front of the enemies. Claude goes down once again.
GC making short work of Cortese actually. As the Claude goes down, as you mentioned, and there we go. There's gonna be the complete push for this outer mid lane turret, ladies and gentlemen. And down for the bottom lane, that's gonna be Baptiste forced again to use his Black Dragon form. Hit is just waiting for a proper timing as Revo kites back. The damage is evident here for the side of the Omega, and that would be it. The dragon gets laid on human form. There's also the Chu that will come along, and now also Few, the third one. And I think this game is kind of as good as one by Omega against Bren. It seems that Omega is not willing to let up their lead.
Haji Z, Hayes, Kurt Z, Heath, Toshi. Are they the ones who's gonna stop the streak coming out from Bren? Remember, this team, we did not really give them let's say we did not give them, the proper acknowledgement into just uh how do I say this? adjusting
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the meta
adjusting.
fast. But
Well,
right
maybe
now,
kind of, but still against Bren.
yes, still
We're,
against
we're
Bren.
thinking.
We really thought that Bren Esports, they can adapt fast, but
Yeah,
Omega here, they have a certain understanding of this meta that
yeah,
Bren Esports, they cannot touch it. It's invulnerable to them, and they cannot get it.
especially the Jawhead, man. Especially the
And
Joy onto here.
especially the
I kind of
Joy.
but feel that it is gonna be the Joy that enabled a lot of things here for the side of the Omega. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a 9 minute. We're about to enter actually the 10-minute mark of this game. Still no threat was pushed out to the side here of Bren. That's gonna be Kurtzy receiving the whole damage, the
Okay.
whole brute force of a Fuse Meteor Shower.
They can for Omega here, yes, they are winning, but they cannot give out these easy pickups on the side of Bren Esports. We do know that Bren Esports, if you give them an opening, they will try to break that opening apart and make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and they will win from that. So Omega, they're doing a great job, but right now they have to be very careful.
Yeah, Black Dragon form once again. Onto Black TZ. As Lusty is being dueled up here by Hit, but here goes Hajizi. Really, Hajizi is a carry very willing to actually participate in fights. But it might be it. I can sense, even in the gold graph here, that something is plateauing onto the side of Omega, as it is more difficult, honestly, anyway. It is more difficult to actually push an inner turret
Yeah.
compared to the outer turret.
Gold is gold, but if you think about it, slowly but surely, Bren Esports is catching up, and you do have a Rebo to zone out on that Popol and Koopa. You have few to push out the waves with the meteor shower. They're not using it to contest anything, and they catch out Toshi here. Oh my goodness!
That is big, ladies and gentlemen. Lusty here, also staying down for the mid. He has to dash out. And we got the Lord getting focused on by the Omega squad. Aribo not willing to let up. He's going to go for this Lord. It is going to be secured quickly by Hajizi's Retribution. And down for the party, it would be a hit down from the front side. And of course, Hajizi running onto the back as he got Cartizi quite quick.
That was
Way
fast.
faster than Omega. Yeah, way faster than his teammates can really follow up. That is a very, very effective assassination there by Hajizi.
I just have to say, map awareness for Haji Z to not be trigger happy into going for those for people in front of him, but he went straight to the back.
Backline,
He
yeah.
saw Claude
Yeah.
and he punctured Claude like how do you say this? What's a sewing ball where you put the needles in?
Like a swimming ball.
A sewing ball, probably a
Yeah.
sewing ball. He punctured Claude here, and Claude can't really do anything. He doesn't have his items yet. I think the next item for him is going to be the golden staff.
Yeah.
He has the demon hunter sword, but Haji as well has it.
Yeah, and the thing here is there's a lot of snappiness, as you keep on mentioning onto the earlier onto the lanes, that whenever you want to be really snappy,
Mhm.
there's a lot of snappiness onto Hit. Right? I mean, Hit is just, if not staying in the middle, zoning off people, being always a visible threat against the enemy. Hit
Mhm.
will just initiate quickly for you. And look at here. Black TZ decides to do it up with a GZ. What is he thinking? There we go. They have to fall back in Black Dragon form into the front line. It would be of Toshi playing, of course, his Winter Trance just to go in. Toshi
Oh!
goes in with a flicker. We are angry combination after the destruction of the Million Inhibitor turret. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be focusing in onto this base. Omega takes the most one-sided victory of a team against Bren Esports.
And
Oh my
people
God.
were debating who can beat Bren last week in Usapang MPL.
Yeah,
How do I say this? The talk about MPL.
the talk about MPL.
So
MPL
now,
chit chat.
MPL chit chat.
Yeah.
Omega,
Oh my God.
they're one win away from winning a
They're
series.
one win from winning a series, honestly, against Brennan. It looks like from
Oh
the looks
my
of it,
goodness.
from the looks of it, we are kind of eyeing a 2-0 here. Something needs to be done on the side of our Bren Esports. That is a win streak that is hanging by the cliff's edge. Butters.
Oh my goodness. I'm actually excited for Omega here. We did say that Omega has been a bit wonky in terms of their
Yeah,
performance,
man.
but right now, Omega just proved us wrong. As strong as Bren Esports are, there's they Omega has showed us that the Titans can really bleed.
Yeah, especially with the patch right now.
Wow.
I mean, more than ever, the playing field might really be leveled and pounded on further.
Mhm.
Just so forget about everything that you've known about the running game. Although I feel that Bren has a plan for it, but Omega capitalized on the fact of the early game lead. Let's head into our analyst segment.
Forever natalo ng unang beses, joke lang, di naman, natalo ng first game ang Bren Esports. And sa usapang MPL natin last time, sino sa tingin nyo makakatalo sa Bren Esports? I think may mga sumagot ng Omega and they're one win away para tanggalan ng isang series ang Bren Esports. Bueno mano, para dito sa ating next patch. Let's look into the item builds right now, guys. For sure, kitang-kita natin dyan ang items dito, syempre. Ni Curtizy, and syempre, ni Kuya Mr. Fundamental Heat, El Clasicong pang-counter para sa isang Claude. Lalo na kapag nakuha mo sa early game. Ayos ba yun? Ang galing mo mag-drawing. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, wait. Ayan. So, walang item. Ladies and gentlemen, si Carl Tizzy nung una, and because of the early blade armor, wala nang matarget dito si kaibigang Carl Tizzy. Even though ang ganda, actually nagbe-make sense dito yung umpisang deadly blade ni na Flap Tizzy and ni Rebo. Still, masyado nang nakaangat ang Omega sa ating laban. Moving on for our post-game stats. Right now, meron pa pala. Okay. Ay, saglit lang. Ayan, baka magalit si Derek eh. Alright, moving on to our post-game stats. Just want to highlight Mr. Fundamental kung ano yung mga nangyari kanina. Kasi nga, at the early stages of the game, dito ata yung tinatawag nating laning stage ng game, hindi niya pinayagang mag-lane ang Bren Esports to the point na na-dominate nitong Omega yung bottom lane. Mr. Fundamental, paikot-ikot siya all around the map. Look at the damage taken. Even though sige siya yung na first blood and everything, papasok dito yung point na hindi mo kagad makukuha yung jungle at hindi mo kagad makukuha yung mga golden XP lanes mo. And I think he really did the job to make space for his team dito sa ating game. Of course, nandiyan na rin yung heavy poke damage ni Hayes as the Kagura. So props to Omega Esports. It seems like tama ata si Wolf na talagang 1-3-1 pa rin ang dapat unang pasok ng ating game. Let's move on to the smart highlights. Actually, we're now seeing again, just want to highlight everyone that kapag gold pa yan, kapag kulay yellow pa yan, laning stage is the key. And if you're gonna look at the bottom side, this is an XP lane right now at the bottom side kasi nakikita nyo yung scroll eh. Nakuha ni Toshi yung full gold. Yung full gold, guys, nung first tower sa baba. And after nung nakuha niya yung first gold ng tower sa baba, sila din yung unang nakakuha ng turtle. So all of the objectives ng laning stage natin ay napunta sa Omega. Bren Esports, yes, their lineup is good in pick-offs and in clash. Ang dami nilang pwedeng sagutin. But I think it's too late. Because Smart Omega, they have all the AOEs in the world. And sinabi nga ni Wolf na ang ultimate, of course, ng isang Alice ay na-buff. No? Parang gamit na gamit yung toggle mechanic ng Alice. So commendable din si Toshi dito. I think it's a whole team effort para dito sa side ng Omega. First time ko actually nakita yung Bren Esports na na-dominate ng ganito. I think there's a minute in the game na kaya pa nilang bumalik, no? Na time stop ko yun eh, no? Hajizi is your smart MVP of the game, but around 6 minutes, nawala, wait lang. Yon, magic. Okay. Around 6 minutes or 7 minutes something, Hajizi is level 10 and Carl TZ is level 8. So, pag minus nyo yan, guys, minus, online class, tuya, ang galing ko mag-math. Easy math, di ba? Level 8, level 10, ang laki na ng kalamangan to the point na abot ka na ng 1104. And classic items na, automatic. I think this is going to be either a defensive item para sa kanya. Yeah? You have the Athena Shield and syempre, pwede ka na rin mag-immortality. Smart MVP! Hajizi proving na mas malupit siya sa TZ Brothers, no? Wait lang, hindi ko abot eh. Liit ko. Papatangkad ako konti. Okay, and so that's it for game number 1. I really hope, no, na pwede tayo mabot game 3 and makakita pa tayo ng something else. Kasi it seems like, Bren, yung opening nila on putting the Claude into the XP lane ay hindi nag-work. Kasi nagulo pa rin sila dito ni Mr. Fundamental Hit. Talagang literal na ginulo lang sila, no? Speaking of magulo rin yung letters dyan sa baba, pero kailangan nyo siyang i-type kasi yan ang ating giveaway code. And plus, meron pala tayong mga bonus giveaway code kasi nasa 13,000 na mga umabot, no, na registrants para sa ating Mythical Raffle Draw. So guys, i-type in nyo na yan, no, bago pa magkaubusan. There you go. Mythical Raffle Draw, just visit bit.ly/MRD minus week 7. Just wanna say, nakapag nag-register ka since week 1 up until playoffs, pwede ka pa rin sumali. Unlike siguro dati na playoffs lang, ikaw kasali ngayon, dire-diretso tayo. So guys, giveaway codes and Mythical Raffle Draw link, kunin nyo na yan. Sayang, baka may kumuha pang iba. Once again, this is Manjin Paldas, your solo analyst for game number 1. Pasan na natin ulit sa ating mga nagwagwapuhang shoutcasters. Kayo naman, guys.
Thank you so much, Manjin, and good job on the analysis, especially on the mathematical part.
Yeah.
Love that favorite segment. I'm looking forward on more complex mathematical analysis of that game, ladies and gentlemen, because that game holds a lot of credence, especially on the idea of Omega. No sugarcoating. It's a one-sided game against Bren here, right? That is a very dominating game there by Omega.
Surprising, but Omega, it's their statement. You have underestimated us long enough. Now it's the time to rise up.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
And they call out their fans club, Omega Natics Rise Up. Omega Natics Rise Up. And just show that flag, throw our flag, and let's prove that we are stronger, even with Bren on top of our group.
Man, if this play style keeps going on, you know, Hit might be a candidate for the MVP of the season, you know, in my opinion. Like, he is very impactful. He's like the first one to really adjust. Kind of feel that really Hit was instrumental for that game number 1's lead because of the Jawhead pick. I mean, when did you see Hit played Jawhead? Especially on our past weeks, he's been rolling with the Cho. You got Kufra, right? You even have a Wild Akai, honestly, on TNT, right? And Hilda especially, right? But if it comes to that lane ganks, Hit just shines really well. I won't be surprised if we could go as far as, I mean, this is far-fetched. There might be a very little chance of happening this, but I won't be surprised if, you know, he could go as far as a Lunox for this part. Oh, the aggressiveness fits his playstyle, but the tankiness doesn't, of course.
Yes.
But the tankiness doesn't.
And
but the side lane gang, just the side lane gang. I'm
and
counting for the side lane gang.
yeah, if some of you viewers don't really know what's happening for the other regions, there is a trend going on way back that there is a Lunox tank meta.
Yeah.
So
and even for the support position, right?
it's
Just
not
to be disruptive, right?
it's not far fetched.
Yeah.
It's not far fetched. The idea is there, but right now I just feel for Bren Esports, now that their backs are against the wall, they cannot afford to give.
They
out
cannot
that
afford
joy
to give.
again.
Especially they cannot afford to lose this series. You know why? Because again, that will offset them by 3 points. That's 3 points not earned for today's episode, for today's matches, and Omega will rise to 19 points.
And
1 point behind them. Even though Omega has more number of games played, still, right?
And a low key team just giving Bren Esports a run for their money. I just feel that Bren Esports right now, they're trying to theory craft, or they're gonna pull out the big guns because they cannot afford to lose this series. Omega forced to ban out that Esmeralda, even though Esmeralda right now is back. He's not gonna be let out in the battlefield.
I would agree as well.
It's
Very
just
strong on
way
the lane.
way too
Very strong on the
problematic.
lane. Yeah, way too problematic on the lane. I feel like Esmeralda is really strong on the lane. Has very strong lane management. Has very strong ganking capacities. Has very strong tower diving capacities. And that's the thing about Esmeralda. I'm actually ranking her pretty high for this running meta. Khalid, no surprise on that one. But we might be seeing a Yuzong. I think teams has been more and more lenient now with the Yuzong, even before the Project Next patch.
There's a thing about the damage or the Athena shield, the Antikyras getting reworked, and not really reworked, but their mechanics are a bit changed, and it was raised from 6% to 10%. So if you think about it, the damage bursts coming out from these heroes, if you just pick up the right item for them, you can offset a lot of those damages coming out from
The
the
likes of Yusong.
Uranus, the
I see.
Yuzhong.
Yeah, I see.
At least they're bearable. They're
Yeah.
tolerable.
Yeah.
They're not really that weak, but tolerable.
We've been hyping Hit as well. I forgot about Kurtz's performance
Yeah.
earlier. Kurtz was also instrumental. That was a lane. That is the very first lane one. And that was a gold lane. That
Mhm.
was a gold lane. They actually had the Ruby go into the gold lane, right? Oh, it's pretty cool. Really neat idea because Ruby being ahead, right? You'd have someone reliable on setups,
Mhm.
on dives even though. Not so snappy. Not so snappy. But pick-offs, yeah, can be. Especially with the flicker to the
Mhm.
we are angry, right?
And you know what, Shinbu, Omega, they will be happy to take the Jawhead right now. I
They
think
should.
I it worked for their side,
Yeah.
just being the annoying tank that runs around and rains on Cartesi's parade. Bren Esports, they got the Cho and the Alice,
Same lineup.
and they go straight for
Same
the same
drafting
lineup. Yeah,
sequence.
same
Same
drafting
drafting
sequence.
sequence. I mean, and no adjustment is visible here from the side of Bren, right? I mean, it would still be the same element. You'd have hit. What Bren Esports need probably is not a Machango. They're gonna be removing the Chango. Kind of but feel that there's a possibility. I'm not so sure about the Farsa, but maybe again, sorry, but I'm thinking of Lunox really here because Pew has his fair share of playing Lunox for the support position. I'm just curious is of how it will pan out for the lane and especially the early game survivability of the Lunox on that very aggressive
Mm,
Jawhead.
mhm. So I'm kind of guessing right now, Shinbu, that a lot of these teams are gonna stay away from the Chango. I
They
feel
should,
that
yeah.
Brand Esports is gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing
It
it
didn't
that
work
as
earlier,
yeah.
especially against the Jawhead.
It's not as strong anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, yes, the physical attack buff is there, the magical hybrid damage, it's there. But you know what? If you need to stick to someone just to go for the physical attacks, then that means Curtsy is in the area as well to flicker and throw you back in.
Yeah.
Or the Jawhead, not Curtsy.
Yeah. The one who's because it's Kurtz's job to actually hook someone.
Mhm.
I mean, in the form of the scythe, and of course you get the Jawhead as well. For the ejector. So Omega here also eyeing the support, but I cannot but feel that this is where Omega might be confused. Cannot but feel that Bren Esports has a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and I think it might be rewarding to just target ban Kurtzy instead of Few here. Probably not the Claude, but probably something like a Roger maybe. I'm not
Mhm.
so sure, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And Lance,
Lancelot. Oh yeah, all right. Yes, Lancelot. Yeah, early
Yeah.
game, right? I
We-
mean, Johed will suffer against the Lancelot.
and good wave clear.
Yeah.
Very fast. You cannot expect the Jawhead to just be there in the vicinity and try to steal something because after they take down the orange buff fast, a Jawhead is gonna go next.
So it's gonna go next.
Oh, and
And-
Bren Esports giving priority to the Kagura.
Yeah,
Wow.
very interesting actually. I did saw this on few, but very very rare occasions. Right?
Very rare occasions.
Very very rare occasions. Right?
Uh,
He would even choose Lunox over the Kagura, but yeah, still. Yeah.
there was no pattern where Bren Esports just prioritized Kagura over anyone.
Over anyone, yeah.
A lot of the teams here in the MPL they chose Kagura.
Yeah.
And they chose Kagura. Bren Esports shied away.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Actually, I just realized no Selena ban.
No
Recently,
Selena
right?
ban. Yeah.
No Selena ban recently, and now we have Selena here as the final pick of Omega. They're really looking confident on that part. Can I but feel that this is very threatening again with Jawhead.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Okay. So I actually think that the Selena is a good pick here.
Oh my God.
But-
That is.
But Shinbu, Bren Esports has to look out for that combination that's gonna
Yeah.
come out from Ruby and Yuzhong. Because if Ruby and Yuzhong can get you guys in that circle and knocks you up, that is an ample amount of time to bring you all down.
Yeah.
But then again, for Bren Esports, they have good heroes now. They even have the Roger. They can go very aggressive. And the thing is, I don't I don't really think that the Roger is quite a bit of a threat to the side of Omega.
Roger's stable.
Just because these heroes want to fight melee range, and that's what the Roger does.
Yeah.
So it's probably somewhat of a snowball composition here for the side of Bren Esports if
Uh,
they can do
well,
it.
the better part here is this is an earlier
Yeah.
composition. This is an earlier composition compared to the cloud composition of game number one. We cannot but feel if Ruby, if well, it's not gonna be Kurt Z who will be on the Ruby. It's gonna be Kurt Z on Yuzong and Toshi on Ruby. But if this turned out to be the same performance as game
Yeah.
number one, same impact as Jawhead, they should start punishing hit right now. Then we might really have a 2-0 here because
hmm
Omega's performance that is really strong. It has an impression, right?
I do get why Bren Esports went for Roger because one of the things you do to beat a Selena is you force engage them every
Yeah.
single time. Remember, Selena when she has the time to poke you guys down with the arrow and
Yeah.
just get a good initiation, just because she can. Then that's the time where it actually hurts for the side of Brent Esports. But if they always force engage, it won't be a problem. And right
Yeah.
now they actually go in for a few.
Yeah, they went in for a few, and the idea is experience lane for Kurt Z. All right, so what they do is they want to get an experience advantage for Kurt Z here. Kurt Z is level 2. Hajizi sits at level 1. Hit is now invading, but the problem here is Hit is invading against a carry which is a level 2. Pew is kiting back.
Oh,
Okay, we're trying to read the early rotations here. Rebo was forced to get onto the recall.
and look at Lusty here, not really caring about anything here. Hayes,
Ooh!
wow.
Yeah, there goes the first blood. Actually, Pew also goes in, and he got cornered here. That's 2-4-0. So that was a good attempt, I think, by Bren. That was a good attempt, I think, by Bren. It's just really, it fell short by a very, very little margin, especially of I think it was of Hayes surviving.
Look at this flap trying to go for that invade. But here is where the patch makes a lot of sense. You cannot just force yourself in and take that without the hunter's knife. The
Yeah.
hunter's knife made you capable of doing this, and it seems to me like Bren Esports, they're trying out new things, but it's not really working on their favor.
Let's look onto the Gillette instant replay here. Butters, one auto. He went for the flicker. Quite a bit late on the flicker, honestly. And yeah, that is the thing. There's a lot of damage there, and Hit always has a very high presence of mind in participating and making sure that he dish out the most damage possible for his teammates. So yeah, that is a good lead. And the worst part about it for Bren is that Hajizi was involved. He got 2 physical attack dagger lead compared to Roger here with the boots. But there's a very little lead. That's just 100 gold lead here. Lusty, he will be pop once again.
And look at how commanding this Jawhead pick is
Yeah.
to the map. They're really just showing a lot of stuff that they can possibly pick off with
Yeah.
this Jawhead.
Oh my god. That's a lot of crowd control. And the problem there is, look at the durability there of Hit. And it allows for Hajizi to just clean up. Your eyebrows are meeting, but
Oh my god, this
we are all shocked.
is this is absurd. Like
Yeah, very absurd.
this is absurd. I mean, I'm not really looking at it in a way that Omega cannot beat Bren, but the amount of pressure that a Jawhead and a Selena puts into the map, I cannot fathom how pressured Bren Esports is right now.
And Hit is on a support emblem. Hit is on a that's not a tank emblem even. Not even a fighter emblem. So look at that. That is crazy, man. Very curious on the. I forgot to look at his first score. I would be expecting a mass here, but right now early game control. That's very big lead. That's 3,000 onto the side of Omega here, and now they're starting onto the turtle. Lusty again. Very far performance here on the backshot compared to the show earlier that forces the side laners to participate, and they don't care. Even if Rebo diving in, forced to actually flicker out with his blood out already turned on. Re-engage comes in, Hit gets focused once again, and Toshi is there to follow through. There goes Flux, he goes for the knockup, flickers away, and that's what Toshi has done.
And
Man!
while that's
Omega!
happening, Curtsy going for that turret. Now you can see that there is quite a significant change in the turret damage.
Yeah.
Turret damage that you can do. It's reduced to make sure that the laning stage sticks for a bit. Now, Omega, they're commanding this
They're commanding
map.
this game, and here's the thing. Because of the side laner, because of Flaptizi, because of Flaptizi being forced to participate in the mid lane, Now, Kurtzy has the level advantage.
Mhm.
I cannot but feel that Plaptizzi missed a few scroll siege minions, experienced minions on the bottom lane, and Kurtzy has the lead in terms of level. And here's the thing about the levels that scales really, really well in the early game with execution. The higher the level, the higher the damage of execution will be.
Mhm. They cannot, they can really not understand what Omega is doing here. It's just pressure after pressure.
Yeah. Look at it.
Even Rebo is finding trouble into
All
the
right.
top lane.
Nice pick up on the hit. Lusty shouldn't overstay. And there goes the GC. He wants to bait in. He goes for the dive in. Also, the Blade of Tempest allowed for Curtsy to make the cleanup. And there goes Brand. They try to re-engage. They will be punished as they get avenged here by the members of Omega. And that's it. That's going to be it. Rebo also went for the dive onto Toast. But where is the damage of Pew? Is yet to drop his own umbrella there. That's going to be a total trade of 3-for-1. And it's going to be won by OMG.
Clearly, Omega has the damage output advantage here against Bren Esports. Even if Carl got the 2 kills, he did not survive that,
Yeah.
and that means they cannot turn it into an objective.
Yeah.
It's still a 3v2.
Yeah.
Omega here still winning because they have objectives on their side.
Yeah. Especially with the turret shield that was taken in by the Omega squad.
Oh
That is a lot of gold. That is a lot of acceleration for them. Flapsy. Okay.
He survives.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he
have the
survives.
flicker.
Yeah, I think also he's went for a very late flicker on that part. He went for the flicker maybe to go for the bite, but there goes another fight here onto the turtle side. Curtsy focuses on towards Rebo, doesn't care. He has the lead. Yet to press his execution, and there we go. Curtsy dueling here. Curtsy dueling Curtsy here. Lots of Z actually. Whenever these two teams fight, doesn't matter though. It's a win by Bren Esports 1-0.
What is the true TZ connection? Is it Hajizi and TZ, Curtizi, or Curltizi
Lasty.
and Flaptizi?
Yes.
Who is the real TZ
It's the
connection
real
here?
TZ, man. You get the real Slim Shady, but here in PH you get the real TZ. It's
Slim
the real
TZ.
TZ. Slim TZ, the Slim TZs.
The Slim TZ. Man, oh man, Bren Esports here. They are on the verge of losing this series, but you know what, Omega, they are still capable of making mistakes.
Look at the
as
gold
well as
lead here.
Bren Esports.
Look at the gold lead here, man.
Yeah.
5K almost onto Hajizi, 3.6 onto Kurtizi. This is Project Next.
I think Ling is exceptional right now.
Yeah.
Seeing how imperative for you to rotate fast into
Yeah.
the map.
And
the
get
amount-
objectives, right?
Oh,
And
and
participate in the lanes and win the lanes here. But of course, Bren Esports will be able to secure the turtle. It's still going to be the same story. No patch update can actually hinder him on stealing the turtle. And that's it. That's going to be Bren going for the cleanup. Quite late here for the entrance of Plaptizzi. It doesn't matter though. And there we go. 3-4-0. Bren Esports gonna go for Toshi. And yes, that's it. 4 members here into the pocket of Bren.
one collapse is all it takes. Omega here.
Oh!
They tried to secure the kill on Hajizi.
Yeah.
And Hajizi went in to what? To take down that siege cannon.
Yeah, just to take the siege cannon for that part. Bren was able to capitalize here. Let's see the Gillette instant replay here.
Now, you're seeing this Shinbu that retribution was perfect. RNG was on their side. Carl went for the artillery. He went for the backlines first
Yeah.
for Selena so that there are no more arrows that you're gonna fly out and disable them.
Yeah, and also I think Curtizi was able to face out with that light and bounce. That's why no clear target to Curtizi. But it will be a different story here. Hajizi it engages on the Curtizi. And also gonna be an airborne here delivered by Flaptizi towards Hajizi. Hajizi points him. And of course Curtizi following up onto Rebo, ladies and gentlemen, with the blood out already on. Toshi at the back line. Lusty as well on this outer mid lane inhibitor turret and also mid lane turret. And they get few as well dancing around. Toshi has the durability for this, allowing Kurt Z to actually go for the push.
Talk
Maybe a fight.
about overstaying your welcome, Rebo, just connecting with that flowing blood and that blood
Look
off.
at Toshi.
And Rebo gets
Man.
spot by Toshi.
Yeah, I mean, only sights coming in from Toshi there as Rebo is just making sure that Toshi doesn't leave, doesn't respond to go for a dive here on the mid, but at the cost of his own life. No sustain can withstand here. The sights on Toshi, not having to actually have the deadly blade even, just has close and endless battle and a vitality crystal. Oh my god.
I think that's one of the problems here for the side of Bren Esports. Yes, it's a good alternative against a Raptor Machete, but you know, it sets you back on the important items, on your core items.
Yeah.
You're not even gonna proceed in making that to a halberd.
Yeah. That's the sacrifice you get.
That's a
Actually,
sacrifice you
yeah,
get.
for
And I
the
think
Deadly
it
Blade.
I think it puts them on the backlines a
Especially
bit.
if you're behind.
Yeah.
Especially if the team is behind, right? And
Rebo,
yeah,
oh my goodness, look at that pop coming out from
Hajizi.
Hajizi and Kurtzi. They just okay. Omega is working in a way that they really just want to pressure every single lane here on the side of Bren Esports.
Yeah. I mean that's the story of the game. Ever since even in before the Project Next, it's just that it is more rewarding.
It's more
It's very
rewarding right
rewarding
now.
to actually get the pressure onto the lanes. Flapsy commits to his way of the dragon, commits to his death, and of course, Brent Esports gonna follow up. And that's it. Lusty wasn't able to back out very quick. Rebo is, of course, he just came from the base. Really no chance of going in. Now that is, I'm not accounting for mistakes here on Bren, but that is a clear mistake there by Flapsy.
I don't know why he went in for the commit on that wave of the dragon.
Yeah,
There was really no way
for Bren
that you
to
can get the
follow up.
kill on
Yeah,
Teeth. If that was a Ling, I would have
yeah,
understood that
yeah, and
because
all in on healing,
that means Carlsy can just go in with a Lycan bounce and
especially with
just
that purification on
take him
Hajiji.
down. And probably it would stop Omega from taking down the Lord. But if it's a Jawhead, you don't
Yeah.
really do
You
that.
don't really do that. Fully commit onto that one. He doesn't even need to land the ejector. He just need to activate the smart missiles for that part. There's gonna be an easy catch there for Rebo. Can have that feel that this is a leaning tower getting brought down by a slight push by the Omega here. And then escalates very, very quickly. Hit here, focusing towards Carl TZ. And now a follow-up dot in by Toshi quite late. Now they're focusing towards Lusty. Lusty shell gets cracked. And it's going to be a trade of 1-for-1 with the buff going to the side of Omega.
You know what? While everything of that is happening onto the map, Haji and the others, they just go for the split. There is a Lord into the bottom lane of Bren
Yeah.
Esports here.
3 lanes.
Problems on 3 lanes.
Yeah. You know, hurdle just piles up and piles up for the side. And against Bren Esports, ladies and gentlemen, at 17-8. And my, oh my, this is totally surprising against a team that has the longest win streak here at our regular season. This is going to be their very first defeat if ever this goes fully and gets shoved completely against their base. A miracle here is required to save the streak, ladies and gentlemen. And there goes Flaptizi. He went for the flicker, just connects the way of the dragon onto Hajizi. There's going to be Kartizi not allowed to actually cast the like and bounce, and that's it. Hajizi will be able to walk away. Lusty also follows through along with Rebo, and the fight breaks out. Hajizi re-engaged with a full health. Where is this coming from? And now let's see here. As he falls back, there is going to be hit quite quick on the flicker. And now we got here the push being done here by the members of Omega onto the inhibitor turret in the top lane side. Rebo going to be melted through by the members of Omega. And I think that's it. It's going to be pick after picks. And few will be the next one to be kicked out of life here by Omega.
Bren Esports, look at what one patch can do to the invulnerable ones. They looked unbeatable way back on the previous meta, but right now they're on their last legs.
They're on this last leg.
Will
Last
the
leg.
streak stay alive?
Will the streak stay alive? It's actually flashing before their eyes. You know, kills after kills, a mega kill against their main carry, and that's it. Onto the base. The streak has ended, and this series closes in 2-0 for Omega.
For a team that had struggles into adjusting into the 6-ban setup to the 10-ban setup, Omega right now, they have a new understanding of the meta.
Yeah.
And it fits them well. Jawhead and Selena,
Yeah, man.
man oh man.
Especially the Jawhead. Normally, a guy who would just be picking Cho, would just be picking, even an Akai, would go as far as an Akai, would pick a backshot, doesn't matter. Would also, is very threatening on a Hilda, got the Jawhead for the support position. I mean, we've seen our fair share of Jawhead support, but not to this effectivity. And of course, especially on this very, very surprising performance right after the Project Next patch. Omega, man.
And it didn't really take long for Bren Esports to suffer their first series loss in terms of Project Next. Omega feeling really confident
Man.
right now. And they get 3 points. They're up 19, 1 point away from actually going up on the Bren Esports side in Group B.
I can recall interviewing Hit last week on my
Yeah.
solo analyst segment. He did mention that when I asked what is his message to the other tanks of the league, he did mention that to be ready for the patch. The guy looks so ready, right?
And they prove that they prove that they have the understanding.
Well, let's see. Let's see what can be understood for this game on our solo analyst segment.
Omega shocking us na sila pala ang makakatalo ngayon sa first series ng Bren Esports, giving them a total of quick maths, 19 points. Ang galing ko doon. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, napakalupit. Omega bawing-bawi sa Bren Esports. Last time na nag-meet sila ay 2-0 din. At ngayon, 2-0 naman para sa side ng Omega. Looking at the items right now is, of course, gusto ko lang i-take note dito yung mga timestamps of the item, no? Kasi, of course, interesting items correctly for Carl TZ. Kasi this specific item, the first item spike of Carl TZ, nakuha niya ng 720. Meanwhile, already with Endless Battle na si GZ with 7-0-11. Sobrang convenient na score para kay GZ dito. I think sobrang laking factor talaga na nakukuha mo yung early gold funnel ng mga towers in a lane. And still, Bren Esports, they went again for the XP lane, Carl TZ. Meanwhile, later sa ating highlights, I think makikita natin dito yung pag-explore ni Heat sa buong mapa. But then again, even though Dorans lang, no? Dorans lang para kay Haze. Yung gamit niya dito to counter the anti-healing mechanic, it's all about the pick-offs for the side of Omega for the items. Let's look into the post-game stats, guys. Of course, pick-offs is the ultimate key para dito sa side ng Omega. Tignan nyo ngayon yung 3 main cores. Bang, bang. Oh, wow, galing ko magsulat. 3 main cores dito. Even Haze is halos magkakapantay yung kanilang damage output. Siyempre si Heat siya na si Boy Sacrifice. Automatic yan. Medyo mababa yung kanyang damage output. Pero look, by the looks of that, guys, no? The pick-offs of the arrow, of the ejector, no? Tapos may Ruby ka pa na may sight hook. All of it, talaga, mabilis na pasok para sa Omega. Merong chance sana yung Bren Esports dito for a team fight. But then again, walang binigay na 5-on-5 collision ang side dito ng Omega. Probably isang beses lang. Looking at the Lord's lane and the Turtle's lane, 1:1. But then again, yung mga buffs and yung mga purple ay halos lahat napunta kay Hajizi. 6 buffs in total. And gustong-gusto ng isang lane ang mga buffs natin. So, going into the smart highlights of the game, gusto ko lang again emphasize natin yung sinabi ni Wolf dito. Bren Esports, again, beginning at the XP lane. But there comes a time, there you go, the Haze outplay. Sobrang crucial nung Haze outplay na to. Kasi if you're gonna look at the levels right now, magkakapantay. So, with that Haze outplay, kailangan ngayon mag-reset ng Bren Esports. Tanggalin natin yan. Mag-reset ng Bren Esports. Actually, if you're gonna look at the minimap, si Heat ay nag-e-explore lang dito banda. No? Nagsosolo value rin siya dyan. Nagsosolo value rin siya dyan. Just to spot out the positioning and probably get someone. Because again, story of the game, pick-offs for the side of Omega. If you're gonna look at the minimap right now, guys, yes, ang ganda, crucial to para sa Bren. Nice play for Cartizi. Pero look at the bottom lane and the top lane for the side of Bren Esports. It's all open. So it means that with the pick-up lineup for the side of Omega, mas madali silang makakakuha ng objectives, mas makakakuha kagad sila ng kills, just like this one. The outplays from the arrows and the outplays from the ejector. And Hajizi mukhang bumalik na yung kanyang killer instinct, yung kanyang top caliber plays against Carl TZ. Again, if I'm not mistaken, there you go. Magmamatay ulit. 3 minutes inside the game. Actually 3 lang, no? So class 3. Ayan, 'di ba? 3. Tapos syempre, meron ka bang ano diyan, divided by 3,000 actually. Ayan, I love you 3,000 ang gold ng Team Omega. I-divide mo yan. Ay, plus pala yan. Ayan, i-divide mo yan sa 3. Ayan, nakalimutan ko na. Basically, 1K per minute. Ang galing ko mag-math! 1K per minute ang kalamangan dito ng Omega on the laning stage. Ilang items, ilang boots ang mabibili mo dyan, men. 2 samgyup na yan. O yan. So, ganoon kalamang. Ganoon kalamang ang Omega. Ang kailangan sana ng Bren that time was to get an outplay, get the Lord, and probably get more outplays din, no? So, with that, everything else, total snowball para dito sa side ng Team Omega. And, syempre, papasok tayo sa ating tinatawag na interview portion. So, bago tayo pumasok, there you go. Kakausapin natin ngayon si Mr. Fundamental, flexing the jacket, flexing the logo, Omega. Mr. Heat, congratulations. Congratulations on that game, man. Napakalupit. For the first time, kayo ang tumalo sa Bren Esports. Men, na pumasok yung bagong meta natin. Pumasok yung Project Next, no? Alagyan kita ng next dyan. Next in line. Pumasok yung Project Next natin, pre. Pero, ang tanong ko ngayon, ano yung naging proseso ng Omega dito sa Project Next and coming to MPL?
Para sa akin, kasi, parang hindi naman masyadong affected sa sa bagong meta. Parang ganun pa rin naman ginawa namin. Tapos, parang naging aggressive kami dahil alam namin aggressive yung Bren. Parang, sinabayan namin.
Yeah. So, kumbaga, stick to basics, no? Ayaw nyo malito. Wala mo ng adlib. Yun ang naging way para dito ng Omega. For sure, napakasaya nyo ngayon, men. For sure, sobrang saya nyo na nakuha yung 2 points. And, pangalawa kayo ngayon sa rankings, no? What can we expect pa rin sa Omega sa mga upcoming games? Talaga bang tutuluyan nyo na yung slot 1? Or silaksa?
Hindi. Siyempre, mas gagalingan pa namin dahil lahat ng kalaban namin pinag-ahandaan namin. Wala kaming minamaliit.
Yan. Pinag-ahandaan nila. You know what, Omega, I think na sobrang saya nyo dyan. Anong magiging dinner nyo dyan mamaya?
Steak?
Ano?
Steak. Joke lang ba?
Steak? Steak ba? Ayan. Syempre, Heat, man, congratulations once again. And syempre, binabati ko rin yung mother mo at saka yung ate mo, no, na action na alam naman natin. Nag-PM sa amin ni Kaibigan Pro. Pero syempre, ikaw, may pa-shoutout ka din. So, batiin mo muna. Lahat naman gusto mong batiin and syempre, promote mo na din ang mga pages nyo.
Ayun po, shoutout sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa Omega. Pati na rin sa family ko, pati kay ate, kahit kaya na. Pati na rin po sa girlfriend.
Yun? Sino?
Si Bas.
Yeah. Alright, maraming salamat. Heat, Mr. Fundamental for Omega getting the first strike, first blood, no? Gods do bleed talaga. Bren Esports, 20 pa rin ang kanilang puntos. Meanwhile, 19 na sa Omega. So, mga sinasabi kong digits ay score nila. Pero yung mga digits na nakikita nyo sa baba, yan ay ang ating giveaway code. So, bago pa kunin ng iba yan, kunin nyo na. Kumuha kayo ng notebook or actually, type nyo na lang sa keyboard. Mas madali. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi naman din ganoon kabilis yung mga kamay ng mga tropa natin. So, I think bilisan nyo na. So, sulat nyo na yan. 76BWRHZ4EBS5228Q5 bago pa may mauna. No? Isa-search nyo lang, no? So, ilalagay nyo lang ang MPL redeem code at pwede kayo manalo ng mga epic skins. Syempre, nandiyan na din, of course, ang ating mythical raffle draw. Just visit bit.ly/MRD minus W7. Week 7 na tayo. Kung ikaw ay tuloy-tuloy na kasali since week 1, pwede ka pang makasali up until sa playoffs. And talagang, ang daming sumasali ngayon dyan. If I'm not mistaken, meron tayong extra 13,000 participants para sa ating medical raffle draw. All, of course, syempre, yan ay hatid. Syempre din ng ating mga sponsors. Syempre kasama dyan ang ating official tournament telco partner, ang Smart. Squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams. As Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gig of Mobile Legends and Facebook Gaming for 7 total days. Simply download the new Giga Life app and choose free games. Kasama na rin syempre ang ating official sponsor, Realme. Realme's the Philippines' fastest charging smartphone, the Realme 7. Ayan, bagong-bago, no? Laban tayo dyan. Alongside with the Realme 7 Pro will be launching this September 30th, 12 noon on the Realme's official Facebook page. Just join the Realme Revolution now. So abangan natin lahat yan. Kasama na rin ang ating official sponsor, Gillette. Get free diamonds with every purchase of Gillette's Mac 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide. Sama na rin natin ang ating partner in esports. Get free 50 PHP credits from Paymaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply. Ayan. And syempre, kasama na rin ang ating partner in esports, ang TikTok, ang favorite ng kaibigan natin si Butters and si Rockhart. Baka rin kami ni na Wolf ay maging favorite yan kasama si Shinbu. So search nyo lang ang hashtag Mobile Legends sa TikTok para makapanood kayo ng legendary videos. Again, search hashtag Mobile Legends on TikTok para makanood kayo ng mga legendary videos. Kasama na rin syempre ang official gaming headset partner Logitech G, Here Like a Pro, and powered by Moonton. Bago tayo mag-end, guys, game number 1. Wow, ang dami nangyari. So I think kailangan natin tignan ang ating Realme top 5 plays of the series.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart Giga Games 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart Giga Games 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network speed and strength. Slow means game over. But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means game changing. Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life? Simple, smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme 7 Pro, 65-watt charging evolution. Realme smartphone, dare to leap.
Don't pay cash.
Pay Maya.
Para may balik bayad ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch
to Gillette Mac 3.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Fun Talk. My name is Wolf, your host, and with me, history-making champions, two-time MPL-PH, formerly known as Sun Sparks. Welcome. Kamusta naman? Kamusta? Sige, kasi may mga hindi rin siguro nakakilala pa or baka nagulat sila kasi nakaputi na kayo bago na yung jersey. Pakilala nyo naman yung sarili nyo, ano yung role nyo sa team. At
ako si Christian Pifora, IGN Grace Rapisha, and ako 22 years old. Ako yung tank support ng MPL-PH.
Ako naman si Grid Alan Dedrico Baloy, 21 years old.
My name is Reza Padua. I'm 22 years old. Blu Fire.
Ako po si Kelvin J. Hernandez. IGN ko po Kelvin J. I'm 15 years old, tas ang role ko po is fighter mage ng Aura.
My name is JP Dilacros. I joined ko JP. Marksman assassin ng MPL-PH, 21 years old.
Ako nga pala si Ashley Macros. I joined ko the Wash World Cup Fighter. I'm 21 years old.
guys, first time na nagkaroon ng online na tournament, kahit yung mismong playoffs online, naglalaro na kayo. Describe nyo naman yung feeling, ano yung difference.
Laking challenge kasi wala yung communication, yung pagsasama namin. Iba kasi pag magkakasama kami, kumbaga walang problema sa pag-uusap, tuloy-tuloy yung command. Tapos nung nagsama-sama kami ng playoffs, bumalik yung excitement namin dahil magkakasama kami. Tapos nung nag-champion kami ng playoffs, parang nakaka-miss lang yung feeling ng crowd. Nawala kasi yung feeling na may sumisigaw.
Anong initial reaction niyo nung MPL-PH, JP? Sila ulit yung nakatapat niya sa Grand Finals.
Ano kasi noong una, nang pagpasok namin ng Grand Finals, inaantay na namin yung kung sino maglalaban sa lower bracket ng finals kasi nung papasok sa amin. Tapos nung nalaman namin Onik, masaya pa rin kasi si Grid gusto rin makalaban yung Onyx-PH. So, kumbaga, pinagandaan na rin namin. Tapos, napag-aralan din kasi namin sila kasi waiting na kami. Napapanood namin yung laban nila against Bren ng finals.
Grid, last time nasa losing side sa Grand Finals. This time, nasa winning side. Gusto namin malaman ano yung pakiramdam on both ends.
Siyempre masaya kasi finally natapos ko yung sinisigaw ko ng season 4. Kasi ng season 4, nung game 4, sumisigaw na ako na champion na tayo. Tapos yun, na-out siyempre malungkot nun after ng game nun. Tapos pagdating naman nung season 5, nung champion, sobrang sarap sa feeling kasi finally natapos ko na yung sinisigaw ko nung season 4 din.
And masaya din kasi parang may winning play kang ginawa doon. It's amazing. Natalia play. Can you describe to us ano yung nasa utak mo ng mga moments na yon? Paano mo kinausap yung mga kampi mo about that?
Sa akin kasi naramdaman ko talaga na kahit anong gawin ko, kahit anong decision na gawin ko sa game. Tiwala lang yung pating ko na parang walang mali sa amin kahit na mag-error kami, okay lang. Tapos yun, Nung naramdaman ko yung tiwala na yun, nung time na yun, hindi na ako nagsalita eh. Sila nang nagkakagulo sila nang sa Lord Key, tapos sabi ko, it's my time, it's my time, di ba?
Anong mas masarap na feeling para sa LVJ? Yung first championship o yung etong most recent one?
Para sa akin yung first championship kasi nung na-2-0 kami, parang tumingin talaga ako sa audience nun eh. Na parang ang dami pala namin supporters. Parang sabi ko agad na, tara guys, bawi, pakita natin na kaya natin. Tapos ang sarap din ng feeling ng sinasabitan ng medal sa stage at saka inaangat yung trophy sa stage.
Guys, lahat naman na nandito deserving na mag-champion. Lahat kayo may pinatunayan. Pero isa sa mga tinitingala ng mga viewers natin ngayon, syempre si KLVJ, the king. Pero before MPL Season 5, meron kang pinramis kay Mami. Actually, let's watch this video. Now.
Ang promise ko, Mami, magbaback-to-back kami, tapos mag-MC tayo nila ate, tapos champion din doon sa ibang bansa.
So, Kel, yung promise mo, natupad mo, medyo lang kasi may konting hiccup na. Pero ngayon na back-to-back champion na natupad mo na yung sinabi mo kay Mami, meron ka bang bagong promise?
Hindi man natupad niya sa MSC, pero pangako, champion kami ulit gamit naman yung MPL-PH. Sa M2, buong mundo naman yung champion namin.
Captain Reflesha, solid mga players mo for sure. Pero ano yung pwedeng abangan ng viewers?
Feeling ko yung pinaka-abangan nyo lang is yung same enjoyment, excitement ng team namin pagdating sa paglalaro. Siguro abangan nyo na lang sa Aura PH yung same na ginagawa namin, yung excitement, yung saya sa game. Makita nyo pa rin. Pero yung improvement namin, ipapakita din namin sa inyo.
Aura PH, your back-to-back champions ng MPL, two-time history makers, at hindi daw sila magbabago para sa MPL Season 6. Kaabang-abang for sure. This has been MPL's Fun Talk. See you in the next one.
Are you game to be great? Now you can with the new Smart GigaGames 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. Game to be great with Smart GigaGames 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network speed and strength. Slow means game over. But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means game changing. Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life? Simple eh? Smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigafy happiness. Gigafy love. Gigafy friendship. Gigafy dreams. Gigafy hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme 7 Pro, 65-watt charging evolution. Realme smartphone, dare to leap.
Don't pay cash. Pay Maya. Para ibalik kaya ka.
on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch to
Gillette Mac 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mobile Legends Professional League of Philippines. We are currently in our Season 6 regular season, and of course, this is the very first day of our
Mm-hmm.
6th week. We are your casters. I'm your anchor, Shinbu with One Fire and I, with my partner here, Annalise Butters, and of course, the biggest shoutouts to our sponsors, our official telco partner, Smart. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gigabyte for Mobile Legends, and Facebook Gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new Giga Life app and choose free games.
Of course, we have our official sponsor, Realme, the Philippines' fastest charging smartphone. The Realme 7 Pro, alongside the Realme 7, will be launching this 30th of September, 12 noon, on Realme's official Facebook page. Join the Realme revolution now.
You got our official sponsor, Gillette. Ladies and gentlemen, get free diamonds with purchase of Gillette's Mac 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure doors nationwide.
And we do have our partner esports Paymaya. Get 50 peso credits, free 50 peso credits from Paymaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply.
Do check out our partner in esports as well, TikTok Live. Check out MLBB's channel in TikTok Live and get a chance to win legendary prizes from Mobile Legends. Also, our official gaming headset partner, the Logitech G, here like a pro. And of course, the MPL-PH Season 6 is powered by Moonton. We just came in from our very first series of Bren Esports and of course, Omega. Quite historic, I might say, right? Especially on certain instances, Mark very, very much um, remembered, especially that the win streak has ended against the side here of Brennan. Kind of but feel like it is
Yes.
Hayes, that is involved in ending it.
Yeah.
A former teammate. And what we have here is Execration versus Blue Fire.
Now, for Execration and Blue Fire, I mean, there's a lot of drama that instilled or that it enveloped Blue Fire this past weeks, and Execration, they really need that wake up call. They really need that wake up call because they've been losing left and right with Aura, Bren,
Yeah.
Blacklist. Now, for these teams, I don't well, for Execration, they are still fighting to take that momentum back. But for Blue Fire here, as bad as it may sound coming from us broadcasters, but the light is not really there at the end of the tunnel for them. It's slowly dimming down.
Yeah, yeah,
There's still some light.
yeah.
They can just pull through and pull a miraculous
It
comeback
is
here.
gonna be a miracle. It is gonna be a miracle
Yeah.
for Blue Fire to actually qualify towards the playoffs. It's a very real story, guys. We cannot hide it.
Mhm.
There's no sugarcoating it. This is the last team here for this regular season. What we can only account for is the match that they will be bringing. Is the fight that they will be bringing. For every match, for every series that they have here in the MPL for the remaining
Mhm.
weeks of the MPL. Guys, make no mistake, they're not yet eliminated.
They're
All
not
right,
yet
they are
eliminated.
not yet eliminated. We're just saying that it is gonna be a very, very, very hard endeavor for them to really get into the playoffs because still yet they are still
Mhm.
yet to win any series, and
So,
we are now on to our third to the last week.
mhm. Yeah, and the thing about Blue Fire here is if they really want to get in, they have to win while the other teams on their group loses.
Yeah, yeah, and there's the miracle.
There's the miracle.
That's the condition for the miracle, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check out the video course for our teams.
Yasin, kasi hindi nyo kami mapapatumba. Oo! Bomba! Kasi every time na maglalaro kami, lagi kami may pasapong.
Sabon. Kasi mag-champion kami ngayon.
Oo! Ito lineup namin yan, complete package na ito eh. Kahit na bata sila yung skills, nasa kanila na yung talent talagang makikita mo na sa laro nila. Kahit na alam nilang sobrang lakas na nila, nakikinig pa rin sila sa mga veterans at yung respeto nila sa mga nauna, lalo na kay Sap. Di pa rin nawawala.
Once na pag pinagsabihan mo, okay lang, sabihin mali ako. Kahit sobrang lakas na nila, gusto pa rin lagi nila matuto.
Kahit sino, kaya namin talaga.
Here we go, guys. Execration roster lineup. Hate, Sagitnu, Benikudi, Etomax, Chaknu, and Zapnu. Even Zapnu here, as the sixth player, has his running KDA, especially that he has participated in one series here for Execration. We know we have a lot of fans here for Execration. So, yeah, let's take this time. Guys, you can actually scan the QR code up above Zapnu. And, of course, support your team. You will be directed to the landing page of the team where their contents are up. I think details about the team are also up. Get to know more, be closer to your teams, and yeah, just scan that QR code.
I know we have our fair share of favorite teams as a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
But then again, I really do hope that a lot of people here supports all the teams in the MPL. They really need it. And Execration, probably one of the biggest fan bases
Yeah.
of all.
Yeah.
And
Probably one of the most enduring fan bases as well.
yeah. And to be honest, Execration has a fair share of love-hate relationships in terms of going in strong in the early part of the regular season while ending it quite of a bit of a flat line. And right now we can see the flat line. For Execration right now, there's this trend. But if you think about it, there are still some games that they can win.
Yeah.
And they can end this in a high note for their side of the regular
It
season.
is a very possible, Butters. Right now, things has been exciting for Execration, especially on this regular season, highlighting the match between them and NXP. There were a lot of expectations. It was one of the most successful broadcasts, honestly, here for MPL. But still, the thing here is it takes more than that. It takes more than just hype to really win the MPL. It takes really skill and metal and really discernment and being above and ahead against any other team if you are here on the MPL. And that's not what is seen to be onto the side of Execration because of their explosiveness. And even though yes, that's explosiveness, there is inconsistencies on that part. Now let's check out Blu Fire.
I-describe ko yung team ko as maangas kasi maangas kami.
Mali-describe ko yung team ko as kalabaw. Kasi nandito si Creek, kalabaw lang dito makapunda.
Meron kaming veterano na hindi pa naaalis sa buong MPL.
yun yung aabangan nyo.
Oo, naman. Yung pinakamalaking asset ng team namin ay si Lims. Yung Roger niya, lumalaban sa 5.
Ang vision ko para sa team, 2 to 3 years from now, siguro later on maging successful yung bawat isa sa amin.
Wala naman siguro threat para sa akin. Yung nanay ko lang kasi baka di ako palaro.
You know what? We get the Blue Fire squad batters. And maybe let's just start forgetting about the no-win record.
Yeah.
You know, although it is the biggest headline here for Blue Fire, let's just take comfort on the idea that it has become redundant. It's obvious. You know what's up, right?
It's
We all
the
know what's
biggest
up.
elephant in the room.
Yeah, it's the biggest elephant in the room. We already acknowledge it, so maybe it's time to let go of that elephant. You know, let's just take the game as it is.
And
right?
let's just have fun for
Let's
the
just
side of
have
Blue
fun.
Fire.
Yeah, let's just have fun whenever we're seeing Blue Fire here. It's the best way to go. It's the best way to go. Maybe we don't know. Maybe the best way to expect is to not expect at all. All right. So here we go. We got Chu, Lims, Secret, Kripzu, Fuzaken, Unseen. All right. Chu has his fair share of aggressiveness as a main carry here. I'm actually very excited on how he will utilize this project next patch. Right. This new and improved patch that emphasizes more on the carry position and the possibility as well of having a quicker funnel and of course scaling, especially now that you have more gold in the game in the form of the jungle, in the form of the lane buffs. And maybe that explosiveness can translate to a very strong form here for Blue Fire.
Yeah, I don't know. Like seeing Blue Fire, there's still a chance that they can back from this. I mean, Bren on the higher ups of the higher echelons of the tournament, they lost against Omega.
Yeah.
But maybe now something can change from the bottom of the spectrum.
Yeah.
From the bottom echelons, probably there is a change that is brewing.
Yeah.
Even if I almost spoke in Tagalog there.
Yes.
Even if like there are changes, I think something in Blue Fire here can change. Even if the odds are stacked against them, you can probably expect something new.
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay, let's try to make some, expectancy. Let's try to formulate some hypothesis here. The meta right now might favor early aggressions and early ganks by the tank or support position, but mainly on the tank position onto the lanes. Blue Fire actually here has a very aggressive tank that I can expect to be so disruptive in the early game, and that is a Buzakin. The biggest question is, I would expect Buzakan to be disruptive. The biggest question here for Blue Fire is, does Blue Fire side laners or even the mid laner here, which I think seems to be onto the hand of Lims now instead of Cho, is willing to follow through with Buzaken? This is our head-to-head stats. Execration is a very explosive team. You don't expect them, honestly. You don't expect them, honestly, to have the highest running stats, the highest running KDAs here for Execration. As again, they have a very explosive playstyle that borders on inconsistency. But because of Blue Fire's very, very low stat performance here, it's no surprise that Execration would have the highest, would have the better highlight for this head-to-head, right? So here's the thing. Maybe, just maybe, just looking into this head-to-head stats, maybe something can be offset here by Blue Fire, because if there's one thing they have won, a clear message here, if we're looking for a ray of hope, would be the first blood count. Look at the first blood count here. That's quite a nice count against Execration. That's 9 against 4, and that kind of signifies early game lead, right? Or early game, sorry, not early game lead, but willingness to engage in the early game. So maybe Blue Fire can start snowballing from that point, right? Especially if they did it on the right place.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually surprised that Blue Fire has more first bloods.
Yeah. Yes,
Here.
compared to Execration. I'm actually surprised that Execration has very low first blood count.
I mean, for a very aggressive team, I do
Yeah.
agree. Like, clearly, surely, this team has been forcing a lot of fights into the early game, and they have a lot of priority in getting those pickoffs.
All right. Okay. Anyway, this is our star highlighted match, ladies and gentlemen. We got our player head to head here, in the form of Chaknu and Puzaken. And of course, for this highlighted player head to head, both actually accounts for I kind of feel that KDA, especially sitting on the bottom ranks, still I think would be a bit close. But it may be because just Fuzican just entered the league, on recent weeks. For Blue Fire, maybe that's why, because there's a relatively low unique heroes use here for the side of Fuzaken, right? Compared to Chaknu.
Yeah,
But they
you
have very parallel playstyle.
yeah, parallel play styles, and I do think that in a way, like execution here has a better hold of what they want to do. And that's the thing about execution. They just unload on the things that Blue Fire cannot really execute that well.
Yeah, and also excited as well for Execration's. I wouldn't say wing it personality, but I wouldn't be surprised if Execration would be, just would have a play style, would have an approach on the drop that just go with
Mhm.
it, just try to make it work.
Yeah.
I would be seeing some things that kind of doesn't doesn't bode well with what the patch is
Mhm.
suggesting.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that, right?
And as we all know, everyone experimented on something.
Yeah.
So I clearly hope that both of the teams are going to try something new, probably incorporate the jawhead to whatever it is that they're doing. And for execution, I heard that some of the rotations that are happening right now, they were the ones who started it.
Yeah. Ah, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, if some of the rotations that we are seeing, that's good. That actually sets a nice expectation
Mm-hmm.
for the side here of Execution, because I would admit, I mean, in terms of grasp of the project next patch, it's not so high
Yeah.
for these two teams. I mean, I would be expecting Execution to win really here against Blue Fire, but when it comes to like strategic,
Mm-hmm.
mm, like strategic approach or like strategic beauty in terms of utilization of the new patch, not so sure. But
Mm-hmm.
we will see really if that is true, if the first rotations will come in from Execration. Though I do remember Execration having really very aggressive early rotations, especially even from way back, even before this project next patch.
Mm-hmm. Uh, clearly you would see like the project next patch really affecting us in one way or the other. Probably the biggest shakeup that happened was it's clear that Bren Esports, they I think Omega just looked well prepared
Mm-hmm.
rather than Bren Esports going weak with the patch.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that we can put a bit more, expectations for the next days for a lot of the teams. But right now, Execration, Blue Fire, they need to show up.
All right, so we have our running draft here, ladies and gentlemen, and because of the changes into the jungle, and especially of the changes that goes against 1-3-1 compositions, very low priority onto the ban of
Mhm.
Selena. Right now, most bans are quite allocated for the side lanes here. Also want to remind you guys that Limbs here might, bode well again because he can return to his Esmeralda.
Mhm.
Esmeralda is not anymore permaban here for this week, and also very, very potent onto the side lane. Look at Execration here. A very nice ban on the Jawhead, which I think so far
Mm.
as shown in the match between Bren and Omega is really doing well.
Uh, I think for the side of Execration here, they just banned out the Khalid. I think it's one of the dual lanes that will can 100% sustain or just win the lane
Mhm.
because of the innate wave clear and dueling capability with just sustaining
And
himself
also
in
the
the lane
dive.
and the dive. For the side of Blue Fire here, you have Yu Zhong and the Farsa. I think they're sticking with their gut here, not
Mhm.
giving out Execration their heroes.
Yeah, eto Max Farsa here, I think might be rewarding as well, especially on the roam side and especially on the aggression side. So totally understandable for the bans here of Blue Fire. Selena won't be banned really. We get the Hilda. I totally understand that ban as well. I find that Hilda really, especially on good players and especially on her fair share of presence and pick here at the MPL regular season, calls for a proper ban rate. With the vision and the pressure that she provides even early on, and
Mhm.
which his team or her team rather can build to.
Okay. So Cho is the first pick here for the side of Execration, and you don't really expect like um they would go for the big guns right now for Esmeralda because uh Chakno can play that. Benicute
Yeah.
can play that, and
Yeah.
it's a very flexible pick on their side.
Yeah, we'll get the Chango here onto the side of Blue Fire. Eyeing that the Chango actually is such a good pick. Especially for the mid lane, especially on the wave clear that she provides. Although we did see on that game number one by Bren and Omega that the Chango will be punished by very willing heroes and players to dive her and pressure her in her lane.
Blue Fire here going for the Chang'o, even if it didn't really show up that well on the previous series. Uranus, probably the first time that we're gonna see him in Project Next in a official game.
Mm-hmm.
So Execration here still going for the Yisun Shin, Kufra. They're not really staying away from their previous identity, and this is going to be an off lane choke.
Ah, yeah. Yes, especially with the presence of the Kufra here. I know that would be nice. Although if I were Blue Fire, I would be choosing the Esmeralda. I find the Esmeralda a bit more dominating compared to the Cho. When it comes to side lane here, there's just a lot of control and wave clear for the Esmeralda, especially on the early game. But in terms of pickup, yeah, I would go for the Cho, especially on setup as well, because Esmeralda works more like of a follow through during clash. But does Blue Fire have plans of
Oh,
doing that?
this is if you can see. I'll just notice it right now. If you can see, Execration is playing like together.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
for
in
Blue
a boot
Fire,
camp. Yeah,
Blue Fire, they're not really doing that.
yeah,
They're staying in their own houses.
yeah. I think they're playing separated here, and that is for the side of Blue Fire. Maybe I know we leave that to you, of course, on the accounting for the news of Blue Fire here. But right now, there we go. We get the Alice banned by Blue Fire, ladies and gentlemen. Even with the backstreet security here, by them, they have nice durabilities in the lane, but kind of I feel that these are not heroes designed. These are not heroes really designed to like get a shop, get a nice shop, and make the most of the available gold for the game right now, especially on this project next patch. And they're still eyeing the Thams, or they're still eyeing their side lanes. Really.
So I kind of get the back shot. It's there to just control whatever sustain hero that Execration is gonna go for next. But you know what? I think it's a pick that you could have set up for another time, like for the fourth and fifth pick. I don't think right now for Blue Fire it has a lot of priority into just securing that.
Yeah, yeah. And well, let us see, ladies and gentlemen. So far, not much onto the side. So far, not much onto the side of uh of the picture of our teams with regards to the project next patch. I kind of feel that this is kind of parallel and similar still to our uh previous patch, ladies and gentlemen. So we'd have to account. We still have to account what will be the final pick here of Blue Fire. The best part about this though is that Blue Fire hasn't shown their two cores, hasn't shown their main carries probably, or what is this? Maybe a jungler as well. Yeah, I'm sure. No, I'm sure as well. Right. I think these are not natural retribution holders for the side of Blue Fire, but I kind of but feel that the pick pacing here for Execution is getting better and better, especially with the bans. They are now removing natural counters here for their Yusin Shin. I kind of feel that the Yusin Shin will be enabled heavily here for Execution. Also want to mention that Kufra is onto the side of Chaknu. I can imagine a side lane dive here. I can totally imagine a side lane dive here where Chaknu will just be going so aggressive and Benny Cutie can easily follow through. Even Benny Cutie, I'm sorry, maybe not Benny Cutie, but Hate can follow through. Like on a lane where Benny Cutie is involved. I'd be expecting Benny Cutie to to be playing maybe on a gold lane even, because we've known Benny Cutie to be a really good player who controls scaling hero. Like remember the Alice, right? Back then. So
look at this.
Look at that. We have a Benny Cutie hero. We have a Benny Cutie YSS. I think that's Hate Gushon.
Probably is. Well, it could be.
There we
well,
go.
they're sticking with the certain 1-2-2 setup that
Wow.
we've seen time and again for these two teams. But you know what? It's a just face. Let us see what are they
There we
willing to pull
go.
off. They go for a Karina, and You know what?
Zas.
Zask and Karina.
There we go.
You know what, Shinbu?
I'm not saying it's a good pick. I'm just saying we
Okay.
have a very interesting pick here. The best part here is there is something we haven't seen before, right? We have something here that we haven't seen before, and we have a new patch, and that's what we want, right?
It's their
If this works.
understanding. It's their understanding.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Shinbu, what I worry for the Blue Fire side most in terms of drafting here is they clearly have a lot of magic damage on their side. If ever the enemy, the side of execution goes
Yeah.
for a Athena Shield,
Yeah.
an Oracle, a lot of their damage are going to be negated.
Yeah, and the thing here as well is they're very dependent on the cooldowns of their abilities. If their purple buff gets removed against them, that is very, very punishing onto the side of the Blue Fire squad. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on our game number 2. This is once again the day 1 of the 6th week of the MPL-PH regular season. A match between Execration versus Blue Fire. Execration the blue, Blue Fire on the red. Let us go. Okay.
Onto the middle lane, you could see that there is still this certain understanding for the side of Blue Fire that they're gonna go for a 1-3-1.
Yeah.
Well, for the side of Execration, they put 2 heroes on both sides.
Yeah, they got 2-1-2 actually on the setup here of Execration. But almost forgot. I may want to wish and see the siege minion here. Which lane is which? But feel I think the bottom lane is the bottom lane the gold lane here. Turtle. All right. So bottom lane is the gold lane.
Bottom lane is the gold lane.
Yeah.
XP lane will
XP lane
always
is the top
be
lane with the turtle side.
with
right?
the turtle side. And
All right.
as we can see
Yeah, there we
here,
go.
that is our affirmation. That is going to be our XP lane just because
Yeah.
they have scrolls.
Now this makes a lot of sense. Look at that. They have the Gusion actually went for the EXP lane so that the lane, the EXP, the level 4 would be accelerated on the Gusion. And look at here. You got Chaknu aiding towards Betty Cutie, punishing quickly that Uranus, and that allows for Betty Cutie getting chunks of gold from that shield protection. Guys, that's it. It's as easy as looking as this one. This is an early lead for the side of Execration.
So you get a support with good wave clear, poke potential onto the middle lane, and what you do after that is you put 2 heroes onto the side lanes. No matter how strong the side lanes are, that's only gonna mean that they're still gonna have a problem just because it's a 1v2.
It's a 1v2. And look at here. Hate already has his level 4 on. Very much willing to actually participate into the fights. Limbs also sits at level 4. But they know where the entry point of Limbs is. It does look like Execration is willing to actually force out the Limbs. With the dive, there goes Chaknu. He went in. There goes Hate. First skill, not going to be connecting. There goes Fusigan for the counter, ladies and gentlemen. But at least they were able to get back in that gold artillery. And yeah, still no kill down for the bottom lane. Only just one. And that would be a BenQ earlier against the U. Raiders 2! Boom!
And that is going to be the middle lane pressure that both of these teams can do. If you cannot see one person onto the lane, then that means you should be going back, and that is going to be another kill for the side of Execration. And it's a 2-1-2 understanding for the side of Execration.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, Shinbu, because we talked about this earlier, that a lot of the teams here have different understandings, and it just shows.
It just shows. Yeah, it just shows. The 2-1-2 setup here clearly accounts for 2 cores, 2 carry, right? You have the Gusion. You have the YSS as well, and it's paying good for them, especially on the YSS lane, ladies and gentlemen, because Blue Fire here seems to want to acknowledge where the gank will come from Hate. So that's why maybe they're being a bit light onto this side lane Uranus, and maybe that's why things are escalating all in favor of Execration's very cuties YSS, and this is not good because these are just the laning phase setup. At the moment that Execration tries to group up, they might have a better lead here.
You know what?
Because of their 2 cores.
Shin, now I'm thinking that probably an invade isn't really the best thing to do. But what you do when other teams go for the invade is you try to get the information where they are taking the buff.
Yeah.
Just get that information and just freely go through whatever it is that you have to go through in other lanes. Just because you can't really do the invades that easy when there is damage reduction on the jungle.
Yeah, and look at Chakno here. He's even guessing where limbs might be. So there is really a lot of pressure from them. And all that needs to be done here for Benecutie is just to make sure that Secret will always farm under a turret. Look at the burst there, down for Chu. And that's it. Well, we did mention Chango is really good for maintaining your lane, but not so good when there is a potent assassin. And
Yeah.
we get the Gusion. Hate working on that one. Now, Chaknu here, not going to be diving towards Secret. It doesn't matter. The pressure is still on coming in from Execration. You got the Baksha along with the Karina dancing around. But Etamax is always sure to provide vision.
You know what, Shinbu? Why are they always targeting Chang Oe here? Why are they always going for Chu? Because right now Chu has the Purify.
Yeah.
So that means in terms of mobility, it doesn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah. In terms of other stat, for the flicker at least,
Yeah.
right?
You can displace or you can dodge the
Yeah.
sword spike.
Yeah, there is I think some little movement spin on the Purify, but that is way has way little mobility compared to the flicker option. And of course, the team can capitalize on the idea that all right, you have anti crowd control, then let's go all in on the damage. Let's have a Gusion, right?
And they're keeping it simple, keeping it basic. Execration here, not really showing us that much, but Blue Fire, they are getting forced out. Sword Spike won't connect. That could have probably been a kill if the Sword Spike connected.
Yeah. But the problem here, Butters, is not really of just the gank, of just the pressure, but of the lead that Benny QT has. I'm very confident he has a very big gold lead here compared even to Unseen. Remember that Unseen has been dancing around on the EXP lane. So if you're looking into the levels, yeah, that's pretty intuitive. But in terms of gold here, you got 4.3 compared to the highest that is 3.1 of Blue Fire. So that's a lot of lead. A very early Blade of Despair here for Benny Cutie. Even with the even with the attack speed dagger already onto him, a second attack speed dagger. So look at that. He is really willing to duel. He's really willing to dish out those quick attacks just so he can get easy access on that executes of the Blade of Despair.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking that the Deadly Blade is a good alternative, as we've said.
Yeah.
But then again, it really sets you back.
It sets you back.
It
Yeah.
sets you back.
Yeah.
But look at this for the side of Execration. Sagitna didn't really even think about going for
Yeah.
that Deadly Blade. He went straight,
went straight.
for the Legion Sword.
Yeah.
And he
e-
gets a kill.
Even against Uranus, actually, look at that. Even against Uranus, I think the lead is too much, especially the one established by Chakno's dive. That you don't really need a Deadly Blade anymore. You just went for that raw high damage. Just burst the Uranus down. I mean, if you get the execute mechanic, then why not, right? Even if you don't delay the shield, even if you don't reduce the shield, if you're just getting the execute down, then maybe that should be enough. Really, the idea here is just to accelerate your core. And that has been done here successfully by Execration. The acceleration goes at a lead of 7,000 in terms of gold and 10 in terms of kills.
You know what? I'm actually seeing Execration here being very creative, not only in setting themselves up in the lane, but look at their emblems here. Even Benny Cutie using a marksman emblem. To be honest, we haven't seen a marksman emblem ever since the start of MPL Season 5. Or maybe even the open or the open qualifiers
That
or the
is
close
Electroflash,
qualifiers.
right? Is that Electroflash?
Not
The marksman of Benny Cutie, or I think it's the Electroflash marksman emblem here. Well, nonetheless,
That is the Electroflash.
Yeah. So we got here the mounting chart. It's been a long time since
Yeah,
we see the marksman emblem. Actually,
we haven't
see
really
always
seen this.
killing spree.
We
right?
always see killing spree.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Sometimes always there's a high end guy, especially when there's a hero like Cho or the others. The off lane is there, but you don't really see the marksman anymore. The
Yeah.
marksman emblem, as other coaches have said,
Ah!
it's really outdated.
Yeah,
But
I kind of like the Electroflash actually for the early game. You know why?
Why?
First, you are targeting Uranus, the Immoba, quite. If you get Electroflash, you can actually get the Uranus to that. Yeah, Uranus might be durable, but the biggest impact of killing spree kicks in on the late game when you kill. So right now, there's an early emphasis. There is an emphasis for the patch that you would want to focus on the early game because there's just a lot of gold. There's just a lot of experience in the early game. So maybe that's why Electroflash is because you get a lot of hit.
Yeah.
If you land those hits, especially on the shield, I think that's very rewarding.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I would admit that to recall the Electro Flash provides it just provides movement speed, or is there attack speed?
It provides 40% movement speed, and it restores and
So there's
HP is
movement speed.
restored by 30% of the hero's physical
So there
attack.
you go. So what happens there is that you have a nice laning. You have
Mhm.
a very nice laning emblem there, right?
Yeah.
Because you have HP restoration, right?
Yeah, I do agree. Like clearly, just seeing how you put the electro flash into play.
Yeah. And plus the attack speed of the marksman emblem works really
Yeah.
well. If you want to target those
Yeah.
shield.
And the thing about it is, Shinbu, usually for other teams, like you would really just try to go for a killing spree, but then again, if the Yi Sun Shin is put in a very bad spot early on, if he gets that flash proc going onto his side,
Mhm.
he can regen his HP. And that could mean that 40% increase in terms of movement speed could mean life and death for the Yi Sun Shin. Because as we've said, Yi Sun Shin is one of those heroes that don't really go straight for that flicker. He wants to go for the retribution, probably not the purify because that's a built-in mechanic and one of his skills. But flicker is the second best spell for Yi Sun Shin. But right now with that electro flash, you have the extra movement speed, you have the extra regeneration. I think it's a way to just say that my Yi Sun Shin can actually live in dire situation.
Yes, yes, and yeah, I mean, right now what is being shown here is a very very dominating performance there by Execration, and I love it. Not dominating performance really. It's about the two core setup,
Mm.
because even though I'm not so sure if this goes really solid with the meta. Again, I firmly believe on this. I think it's really too early to say something final
Mhm.
with the project next patch. I think it's always best to really just have a nice amount of sample games, number of games, especially in competitive, to see what works. And but I love the experiment.
Mhm.
I love the change of you don't see this Gushon YSS on the
Yeah.
same comp. We would easily dismiss it as a losing comp.
Yeah.
We would if it before the project next patch, you could
But
easily dismiss
but this is
dismiss it as a
next.
losing comp. But this is next. Welcome to the next, boys.
Welcome to Project Next. And
Welcome to
that
Project
is true.
Next.
Shin, some of these I do agree. Some of these would be a very bad draft if it was in the previous meta.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really make sense. It wouldn't stick together just because the components are jumbled up just by damage, getting a good lane,
Mm-hmm.
and just if you think about it, you wouldn't really give the purple buff to Gushon, so that means Gushon will be gimped or limited in terms of what he can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with this, they can actually think about it. Who gets the priority on the purple buff first? They can actually say, okay, hey, you go get the purple buff first, then get the orange buff, then you
Yeah.
just go wild.
Actually, Butters, before I believe on the 1-3-1 setup,
Mhm.
which I witnessed on one of our partner tournaments, which is the Realme Mobile Legends Cup,
Yeah.
of course, by one of our official sponsors. I did so the 1-3-1 setup there by Team Payaman, and it was further confirmed by Honda Beast
Yeah.
Gaming. Also one of the best minds here for Mobile Legends in their country. Now, the thing here is that before that, I actually believe that you could actually set up two cores. But the first thing I thought when I saw the project next patch is you can actually set up two cores in the form of having a jungle core and having a gold lane core.
Mhm.
And I think this is what Execration is doing right now. I mean, this is clearly
Mhm.
what you can see on Execration side right now. That Gusion is a core. That Benny Cutie there, the YSS is totally a core. Maybe it's time for us, Zen Esports, for me and Manjin to finally settle and agree that we can be both cores.
You guys can both be cores. But you know what? It is a possibility.
It's a possibility.
It is a
We might
possibility.
have a nice strategy with
We
that kind of approach. Huh?
Yes. And if you guys don't know Sen Esports is our caster team. Us five shoutcasters in the MPL plus Rob Luna,
Yeah,
one of the shoutcasters here. The
the
sixth man
six man.
shoutcaster is actually part of the team. So
Yeah.
clearly,
It's the overqualified
it's
team.
the overqualified team just
Yeah.
because we can't really join
Yeah.
because before we can join we were already disqualified.
Yes.
And yeah, I get the fact that there is a huge emphasis into highlighting or knowing how to utilize those lanes.
Yeah.
And I love the things that come out from these teams. Some think of it as a 1-3-1. Execration, think of it as a 2-1-2. And they're both not wrong.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong into understanding your pace in the game or your own set on your own set draft or set designations in terms of laning in the game. It's more on the idea that we try to face those ideas against each other, and whoever wins it by the end of the day, I think that's the better
That's it. Yeah, it's
strategy.
simple as that, right?
Yeah, it's as
It's
simple as
simple.
that.
It's simple as that. Really, we need to see a lot of games. We really
Sample
need to
size.
see. We need a very good sample size here for the project next patch, and I think things will normalize. I honestly think we things will normalize by the playoffs.
Yeah, and I like the
Not
idea.
on the other weeks. Not on the other weeks.
You know what?
Yeah.
There's this idea that came to my mind. Why does Etomax stay into the middle lane? I just feel that a mobile support that can stun or lock someone into place, if Etomax has the freedom to go out of the lane and just surprise people, then three people in one lane could take out that one person in
Yeah,
the lane.
of course, of course. I find Etamax is a very explosive player, honestly. On his preference on the Farsa, he even goes as far as playing Leomord sometimes, even, right? But yeah.
I'm actually scared of the capability of a Selena in this setup.
Mm.
At to want to set up, you put the Selena on mid.
On mid, yeah, honestly, I have very personal bias towards the Selena, but I really think it is totally doable.
Yeah, if you think
Uh,
about it, Shin, you don't have to leave your lane that much.
Yeah.
You can just throw out
Arrows on
throw
that
out the
lane,
arrow
and
at the
there's a lot of
maximum.
pressure within that
Yeah,
lane. Yeah.
maximum range. Throw
Yeah.
it in maximum
And
range.
you could just have your traps onto the sides.
Yeah.
So you'd have one lane that has a lot of strength in front and has a lot of guard onto the side, right? Has a lot of guard onto the side, and yeah, that's one possibility. That's one key strength here. Now the keyword is lane,
Mm.
because lane, guys, has a lot of value right now. Although it's actually weird because we're accounting for the mid lane here, which I think we're yet to decide which lane has the most value.
Mm.
Honestly, I think it depends on tactic. Because even though yes, there is a gold lane, even though yes, there is an experienced lane, guys, mid lane is the shortest lane. That's the
Mid lane.
inherent advantage of the mid lane, and I still believe before the project next patch, we all kind of agree that the most important lane early on is the mid lane. Still,
Mhm.
if you remove the outer mid lane turret, that is a very very big lead. Even after project next patch, I still believe it is still the same. I still
Mhm.
believe that in terms of
Of
pressure, it
course.
is very punishing if you lose that mid lane outer turret
Mhm.
before your side lanes.
And you clearly see it in terms of the understanding of execution. They do not invade. They do not want to invade in any way. What they do, Shin, is they really just try to get the things done in terms of getting the idea where the other team is. Because here, for the side of Blue Fire, they picked up a Karina. And Karina is said to be one of the suitable heroes for that jungle lane, for that jungle role. And I like how Blue Fire is dealing with this as well. But they can't really go head to head with the side of execution right now because the thing is, in terms of execution side, economy is balanced, XP is balanced. It gets spread out through the other sides.
Yeah.
Etomax gets a bit of priority just because he has a solo lane, and that's how it works usually.
Yeah.
So if Blue Fire can't stop the bleeding and cannot, turn things around on that Kagura onto the middle lane while she's alone, I don't think that they can actually catch up on this one anymore.
Well, let us see, ladies and gentlemen. We got here our return for the game. 8-minute mark, 12-0 on top of that 9,000 gold lead for the side of Execration. We're still yet to see the Lord as the 60-minute timer, 60-second timer is still there. Rather, they are just setting up, kill brushes here. And maybe I think I can actually predict how the dive will be done here, how the fights will happen here. And yeah, that is of Chaknu jumping, obviously.
And Chaknu just saying that this is my house. You
Yeah.
cannot extend. You cannot go here. Go back to your base. You are not allowed to go out. You are grounded.
Yeah, that's it. You just follow up with a mounting shocker after the dive of Chaknu here.
So
And
really safe.
yeah, very, very safe. Very, very methodical. And again, you just need to have the waves in. There is enough wave clear onto the side of Blue Fire. But still, there's the dive of Chaknu. I can see it. There we
Go!
go. There we go. There's the dive. There is the ultimate. There is the follow-up. There is going to be very cutie getting the kill onto the back shot. And also Sagitnu following through. 2-4-0. Maybe they the 3 as they get the kill onto Limbs on the Karina. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. On the mid, it is going to be gonna. And yeah, no amount of weight clear will stop Execration on finishing this one. There's another jump onto Chaknu, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Edamax here. He wants to finish the game. Focusing actually onto the main base for that part. But yeah, just like that, one setup on Chaknu, few seconds away, we got 2 inhibitors lost.
And this is a good performance coming out from Execration. They're pushing their limits. They know that at this point in the game, Blue Fire can't really do anything because in terms of damage output, they focused on magic a bit. Not a bit, but they really did focus on magic. So for the tanks here, as long as they itemize well or the supports they itemize well, they could not go down. They don't have a chance of going down here.
Indeed. I'm not sure. Did I just saw Chu use his ultimate without his second? But maybe just my eyes. Let us see here. Chakno gonna go for the dive here. A catch onto Unseen. Ultimate, of course. Unseen is actually one side laner here. It would be very rewarding to target him. You got no Zaz. That's one big reduction onto your wave clear. That's gonna be it. It's just a countdown timer before this game closes in with the Lord already pushing in mid. And no minion wave up top. Doesn't matter. There is going to be Changnu. He will be casting it. I really doubt he will cancel this. He will go for the dive, but that's going to be on towards Chu. And they go for the base. Ladies and gentlemen, this game number 1 will go to the side of Execration.
You know what? Execration here just showing us how it's done. Blue Fire. They had something in mind. They really wanted to make it work, but sadly, it didn't really work into their favor. Execration showing us a 2-1-2. Is this their only understanding? We'll find out.
Well, all in day's work for the side here of Execration, ladies and gentlemen. It is within our expectations. What is really good to highlight here, and I do hope Manjin would delve on this topic, is of the 2 cores. I love the fact that we have a Gushon. I love the fact that we have the YSS as well. This is a nice possibility. We're not saying this is an effective tactic that would work. It did work for now, but again, sample size. We need more sample size. But just for this moment, it is so fun to watch. It is so good to look at. We got 2 cores. Quite a bit far from the 1-3-1 that we're used to.
And seeing heroes like Gushon come back.
Yeah.
Karina even just debuting. For the longest time, we haven't seen a Karina even since season 1. Since season 1.
Yeah.
But right now, there is a Karina pick that is said to be a good jungle role or jungle hero right now. So there are a lot of things to look forward to, and it's all about execution from these teams.
Yeah. And yeah, let's head into our solo analyst segment. Manjin.
Parang ang bilis ng game na yun, ha? Parang mas matagal pa yung naging pause actually of the game because that was so dominant for Execration. Tama ang sinabi dito ng ating mga shoutcasters, lane dominance ang ginamit ng Team Execration dito to win. All I wanna say is that, man, Electro Flash is back para dito kay Benny Cutie. And actually, tama ang sinabi ni Wolf. Interesting pick though on the Zask para dito kay Unseen, no? I think ang gusto sana nilang gawin dito was to really clear the waves, really actually push the waves, get the towers. But interesting opening here for the side of Execration. Rose Gold Meteor to counter the magic damage from the Chang'o and from everyone else. But then again, lane superiority. Kung narinig niyo yung word na yun, superiority, big words yun. No? English naman tayo ngayon. Ang naging key to victory dito ng side ng Exe. Let's go to the next slide ng ating post-game stats. There you go, Ben Cutie, having the best time of his life. 17,000 tower damage. No? Kung itong screen na to ay isang malaking mapa, no? Isang malaking mapa, all of the lanes, magdodrawing ako ng mapa dito, no? Kasi gets na natin yan eh. Panalo na yung X eh, no? All of the lanes, no? Mamaya makikita rin natin yan. All of the lanes lamang ang team ng Execration to the point na actually wala nang masyadong umabot to, 0 tower damage. 0 tower damage. Si Ansin lang ang nakakuha ng tower damage. And even si Puzakin, 200 lang yung nakuha niyang tower damage. So talagang hindi binigyan ng Execration ng tsansa dito ang team ng Blu Fire makalapit. No? This 2-1-2 setup works wonders actually for the side of Execration. First time natin nakakita to. And actually, masagot lang ang tanong ni Wolf na Yushun Shin, Electro Flash, mas madali kang makakapag melee at makakapag long range, no? On that Electro Flash. Let's look into the smart highlights of the game. Actually, wala masyadong highlights. Mas madami yung naging pick-offs dito ng side ng Execration. Just again, emphasizing on the laning stage for Execration. Eto Max, early level 5 actually because he is soloing the lane, the mid lane. And then, eto, kung makikita doon, siya ngayon, kumukuha siya ng Lito Wanderer early into the game. Soloing the Lito Wanderer kanina, no? And with that, bugbog, sarado, guys. Wala na akong masasabi pa. I think sobrang hirap din ng situation ngayon ng Blu Fire kasi looking at their situation, hindi na sila magkakasama. I mean, tamang video call na lang sila at nadali sila dito ng 2020, no? So tamang ang hirap niyan eh, ang hirap maglaro, to be honest. Ang hirap maglaro ng naka-video call lang, no? Iba pa rin talaga kapag magkakasama kayong lahat. So your MVP of the game is Hate. Wala tayong math problem ngayon. Ang problem natin ngayon is kung paano, no? Paano, nawala. Wait lang, yan. Kung paano mananalo ang BNK, no? B equals N equals K equals, yan ang formula. No? Yan is the new formula of BNK. What is the new formula BNK? Kasi, man, this is a struggle, no? 2 points lang ang max na pwede nila makuha for this game. And I think, kapag natalo sila, like what we've said earlier, pwede na silang matanggal. So for the fans of BNK right now, I'm requesting you to raise your hands and get that giveaway code. Habang nire-raise yung hands nyo, print screen nyo na lang. Raise your hands. Naangat mo na ba? Hindi, alam ko hindi mo inaangat kasi kinukuha mo yung giveaway code ngayon. Pero pagkatapos nyan, iangat nyo na yung mga kamay ninyo dahil kailangan nyo nang ibigay ang energy ball para sa BNK to survive the potential elimination. Bonus giveaway code, again, dahil nag-reach tayo ng 13,000 plus followers para sa ating mythical raffle draw. And boom! Isa pa. Boom! Eh, hindi sumakto eh. Pero visit bit.ly/MRD W7 para makasali pa kayo sa mythical raffle draw up until playoffs yan. So pwede kayo sumali dyan, guys. So that's it. Again, our formula is how will BNK finish this? How will they come back? Napakahirap na nito. Magiging bias na ako. Kahit isa lang BNK. Kahit isa lang, please. Pero kasi kalaban nila ay ang team Execration. Balik na natin sa ating mga casters. Kayo naman.
It's always amazing whenever you look at Manjin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2, Execration versus BNK Blue Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would agree, Manjin. Maybe at this one, it's always being asked. It's always the question, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
for Blue Fire whenever they do this kind of matches. Again, that is again we said that maybe it's about time we stop talking about how
Yeah,
Blue Fire is not winning and just enjoy the game. They pick up Karina, they pick up the Zaz. Didn't
Karina.
work, right? So
Karina.
maybe we'll see something more unique, some more fun.
Uh,
Right?
yeah, I mean, for the side of Execration, they got the show, and for Execration, whenever they get the show, it's a 57.14 win rate, and that got bolstered up by that certain show pick that they did earlier. It
Mm-hmm.
was a show off lane,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because of the freedom that they had, just because Blue Fire didn't get those heroes, and they
Yeah.
just secured it for themselves.
And speaking of Cho, I can actually remember that shoutcast where I was questioning why does Benecuti uses the
Yeah.
YSS on the side lane.
Yeah.
But now, totally no problem. Totally well informed. Totally very applicable for the project next patch that we have here. You just put the YSS on the gold lane, paired it with a Kufra against the Uranus.
Mhm.
Really, that is kind of a checkmate in
You know
itself.
what? We've been telling that the patch is telling you to fight. The patch is telling you
To
to
stay in your lane,
stay in your lane.
win your lane.
But you know what? I just have to say, the patch is telling you to be creative. If you want to if you want to invade, be
That's true.
creative.
That's true.
If
That's
you
true.
want to win the early fights, be creative.
Yeah.
Be as creative as possible so that it reflects on your drafts, it reflects on your rotations, and you don't go stale. Because right now, with this project next, I just feel that there's this certain amount of pressure that comes from a lot of these teams to just come out with a new strategy and make it their own. But
Yeah.
I do not want one strategy to actually just come out of this. This is Project Next. May we have multiple metas.
And the idea is to have fun.
Yeah.
The idea maybe is to have fun,
Yeah.
In this, well, it is kind of difficult. We're playing on the MPL still. The idea really is to win. The goal is to win, right? But of course, for our viewers, guys, you have a new patch.
Mhm.
It's really fun to learn. It's really fun to discover what are the changes. No need for a race. There's really no need for a race. I really don't think being first.
I don't think
Again,
being
yeah, like you
first
said, right? It
and
makes you
being
right.
it
Yeah.
doesn't make you right.
Yeah, I
Claiming
think,
that you're first doesn't really have its merits,
yeah,
because at the same time, it's the hare and the tortoise.
yeah,
Whoever goes first, you know, may be more complacent than the others,
yeah,
and the
yes,
slower ones might find something else.
yes. There is a saying in Tagalog, but because I'm so good, I will translate it in English.
How
You
will you
know,
translate it?
when someone who runs fast, whenever they get turned, they will be turned deep.
Yeah, I get
And
that. I get that. I get that. Yes, that is true. So
ang in Tagalog, ang tumakbo ng matulin kung matinik ay malalim,
yes, yes,
right?
that's true. That's
Right,
true.
so
You know what?
but yeah, anyway,
Mhm.
guys, have fun.
Have fun.
Always have fun in
Always try to
anything
have fun.
that you do, especially on this patch. Do not be really confused. Just read those patch and imagine the possibilities. That's where the fun lies.
If you're not that confident, don't get scared.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
get
yes,
scared.
definitely.
You
And
watch.
just learn from others. Just
Yes.
try.
Yes.
They said this. Okay, try it. They said that.
Yeah.
Okay, try it.
And
Right?
if it works for you and you have fun with it,
Mm-mm.
it's okay, because this happens with a lot of games as well. I hear a lot of people just saying that, oh, we're scared of the new patch. It's so big. Do not be scared. This is still the ML that you
Yeah.
love.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just that as time progresses, the game progresses as well.
Yeah.
And Munton really just wanted to give you a better experience
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
have a new perspective into the game. So appreciate the change, embrace it,
Yeah.
and make it your own.
Yeah. Have fun.
Have fun.
Right. So anyway, we got the Khalid, Natalia, and also the Hilda ban on the side of Execration. Selena would still be available as the ban on Blue Fire would be of Ayuzong That is a very nice ban, Kufra and Cho. Execution would prioritize on getting that YSS. I really feel that YSS should be a priority ban right
Still,
now. I
still,
think YSS should be a priority ban right now
still.
for the meta,
Now,
just to be safe.
and now that there
And they
is
got Johet.
now that there is an idea of a jungler just roaming around or
Yeah.
a support roaming around,
Yeah.
getting information on that support wherever she's going or he's
Yes.
going
Yes.
is imperative for a lot of these teams. So
Yes.
I think YSS is still a hot commodity.
And the reduction of the 131.
Yeah.
The slowing down of the 131 kind of makes YSS a bit safe. Because you don't expect 4 people to be jumping onto you. You can expect maybe a bit, two, one, right? Something like that. And of course, you have your guard on this. Right?
This is where I actually think that Forza is going to have a problem. Because sometimes when it's 1-3-1, you can see 4 people sticking together into one lane.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're a Farsa, where do you go? Do you go to the top lane? Do you go to the bot lane?
the
Because
side
there
lane.
is always a siege happening
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
in the map.
yes.
So you can't be omnipresent.
Yeah.
You can't be there always in one lane.
yeah.
So if there is something happening to the top lane, then
Yeah.
probably someone is being proactive to the bottom lane and just pushing the waves.
Yes, and that's actually one of the weakness for against Farsa. You can actually try to make a play on a lane where Farsa is absent. Although Farsa has the wings by wings, I do agree with you, Butters. The potency of the vision provided by the Farsa may be reduced because Farsa is preferred back then because of the vision that she provides, especially when teams clump together, especially when they go together as a four-man unit. Farsa provides a lot of defense for this. But on fights that are spread out and individual fights, I think that's where Farsa kind of becomes very vulnerable, especially on pick-up heroes.
Think about it. Will you use wings by wings to go to one lane? Because if that happens, then that means you don't have wings by wings to get out.
Back into
to get out
Yeah.
if you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So a lot of things really just popping out here.
Yeah. This might be a Farsa that will just be allowed to stay into the mid. You know, same as how supports are being done here. Very interesting actually on the Loyi. I cannot but feel that Loyi is a hero that is nice to experiment around right now for the project next patch. I think, especially if you want to dive a lane. Yeah.
Everyone was thinking about a rival.
Yeah.
But then again, if you have a hero with an ultimate
that can teleport you
teleport
the whole
you
team.
anywhere, it makes sense. Because back then, I mean, a certain patch in the open qualifier, someone did say that she is the best support. But then again, aside from the nuking power, what more can you get out of the ultimate? Because you don't really use it as much.
There is a very big
But
question for
right
that.
now, if you use it and you want to defend a lane, you can just pop your ultimate, get in a safe place, and just defend.
Indeed. Well, we get the Lunox here for the side of Execration, ladies and gentlemen. So, it's a possible side lane, honestly. Lunox. Oh!
It's back, ladies and gentlemen!
It's time for the main event. We are back onto Etomax. Leomore.
It's probably Etomax. It's probably Sagitnu. As
It's
far
possible.
as I have to say, Sagitnu's name was May before. And
Okay.
May is one of the best
Leomore
players in the Philippines.
Yeah, I think we have Etomax Loyi and we have Sagitnu on the. We got Sagitnu on the Leomore.
Funny.
Of course, go for it. Why not? Well, it's already locked in, right? So yeah,
They don't have okay. There is Chakno there with a single target lock with unstoppable force and the ejector. But for Limbs here, if he is safe in terms of engaging, then it's probably gonna work on his side. But Leomord and Fanny coming out and joining the MPL fund.
Leomord Benny Cutie.
All right. I mean, yeah. I think Benny Cutie is capable of doing so as well.
Why not? Yeah,
He's capable.
I mean, we're just basing it on our previous stats, guys. We got Etomax really playing Leomord. We also have Sagitnu playing Leomord.
But I mean, having two skilled Leomord players, give
Yeah.
it to the Leomord player
Why
here,
not make
Benny
it
Cutie.
3? Why not make
Why
it
not make it
3?
3? I
We
mean
have
that.
2 Leomord players.
Why not make it 3?
Make it 3.
Or probably give Chaknu a tank Leomord as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just
So you have 5.
you,
I
you
have
have
4.
you have 4. Then
Then
hate
8.
probably
Yeah.
get 5 Leomord players.
Why not?
What's
Why not?
better than 4?
Yeah,
Make it
make
5.
it 5. Quick match, it's inspired by Imagine there. Man, I think everything got wiped off the table, same as everything got wiped off when the Project Next Patch was introduced. We have a Fanny here. I have no idea where is that coming from, but I have no complaints.
I have no complaints as
totally
well.
no complaints for this game.
And you know what? We didn't really talk about the Terizla.
Yeah.
I mean Terizla
Terizla is okay to greet the
was
Loyi.
was balanced.
Yeah.
Very balanced hero right now.
Yeah.
His current passive was taken to the previous one that season 3 Terizla pick that they were doing.
Mhm.
It was reverted back to that certain spot where he was deemed to be one of the most OP heroes and tankiest heroes in the game. But the thing is, his damage output in terms of minions is decreased to only 75%.
Yeah.
One of his
So
skills, yeah.
yeah, one of his skills. So there is a good attention that is given towards the Terizla right now. Although there are a lot of changes actually for heroes, and we're yet to actually see our revamped heroes in MPL, and I'm actually looking forward into seeing that, especially next week. I think next week they're already allowed, right? But yeah, with this kind of lineup, my side lane on the Leomord, I think Leomord EXP lane. You still have YSS. Oh no. Sorry.
This is probably
What do you think? YSS jungle? It's
yeah,
possible.
it's a possibility. It's a
YSS jungle.
possibility.
Yeah. I think
Now
YSS jungle.
I
Leomord
think
side lane still.
I think it's going to be Yi Shin and Lunox in one lane. They're just gonna poke the hell out of the enemy, the one just staying there, and
Yeah.
that only
I'm
means
curious. I think between the two, because you have two side laners, you got Lunox and also Leomord. So I think EXP lane Lunox, gold lane Leomord. I mean, Leomord kind of benefits on the level 4.
or
Very possible, but
they
I'm
could
just-
revert to 1-3-1.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibility for that
There's
draft.
a lot of
There's a lot of
possibility.
possibility for that draft because the thing here is there's kind of a blurred line whose ultimate is more valuable, whether it is Lunox or Leomord. But if I'm thinking about it, I think I would just go for the Leomord EXP lane.
Yeah.
I think
Safe.
Barbiel is really impactful. That's a very big power spike for Lunox once Barbiel is already online compared to the Lunox shifting forms,
Mhm.
right?
So execution here,
yeah,
surprising us, but and I want to talk about the Fanny. I think the Fanny here pick here for the
What?
side of Blue Fire. It's
There's no I think
there,
there's no
there,
reason.
I don't really think that there's a reason, but in terms of the catch here for the side of execution, they only have one.
Yeah.
So I think as long as you don't have anything to lock
All
down
right.
limbs, it makes sense.
All right, so there we go. My vote was wrong. We got the Leomord on the gold lane. We have the Lunox on the experience lane. And here's a fun fact: we have Hate also joining the experience lane.
Yeah, and it's going to be Sagitnu and Hate in one lane, and they're just gonna poke the hell out of the enemy team, and the enemy hero onto this lane. Oh,
nice jump by
wow.
Secret. That was very quick against Heto Max. All right, and that's the blue buff onto limbs. Okay,
Mhm.
but that
So-
is gonna be the lane.
So what they did was after that XP lane, Hate goes to level 2. He gets the Little Wanderer and he heads straight for that purple buff. So that's the certain rotations that the enemy team that the teams are doing here. If you get a carry fighter or a carry side laner, you would put the marksman onto the XP lane, then just get his levels.
And look at this. So what Chakma is doing, just going for the reset, right? A disruption towards Limbs that force actually Limbs to get his recall. He does understand that the Fanny has nice capability of returning to his own buff. So what Chaknu is now doing is he's trying to get some attention by visiting again the orange buff. But yeah, That is the first of the early small leads here by Execration. Another goes sa Gitno. Chakno dancing around against Limbs. All right.
And Etamax here getting the level 4, and they will, and this is hate, just
Of
they're
course.
flexing, and
Of
right
course.
now they are making money, make it rain.
And look at that. Does Benikiti doesn't even need to use the barbell.
Yeah.
Still has the green dot on the moment that Hate actually visited that lane. Guys, that is very important.
And
That gold lane gank. That's a lot of gold now for Hate. That's where the biggest lead will happen.
and look at the gold, it's 1k up here for the side of Execration. It's 1-1.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that's 1.4k gold given to the side of Execration just because of that one sequence that Execration did. Wow, that's really high, and Sagitno here is getting a fair share as well.
Yeah, of gold. That's how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, no surprise. By the 4-minute mark, I'll be seeing an early item here for Heat. But Heat is eyeing actually the late game here by choosing the killing spree. And Chaknu, is being impactful. That's totally okay. He did throw limbs out. And that's all he need. That's all he need. He just needs to disrupt continually. The Mounting Chakra gets casted. There is a kill though done by the Lunox. If I'm not mistaken, there's gonna be Chaknu goes for the unstoppable force towards
And
Kuzuken.
Chaknu got the
Chaknu
buff.
got the buff. That's how it's done. Puts in the logo of the Onyx here.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, that's Etamax also following through. Doesn't matter. Even with the death on Etamax, that's a lot of pressure there by Execration and lots of freedom for Hate. And Benikiti also farming in. And guys, that's the final minion. That's the final artillery. Gold artillery gold. That's the final artillery gold that we'll be seeing on the gold lane. So that's a 340 mark, guys. And yeah, all lead on Execration. 2K.
Yeah, when Sagitno here getting chased down, doesn't have the mana, but Hate is here, and that arrow will connect. You know what? I really like the idea of
Oh my
Yi
god.
Sun Shin
Yeah.
being the jungler, because in terms of rotation, he has good range.
Mm-hmm. Just look at that,
Oh
ladies
my.
and gentlemen. What Benikidi decided to go for is a very early, instead of the Bloodlust Axe, he went for a very early Blade of Despair. On his way to actually building it, he got the 2 Legion swords already up, and I think Raptor Machado and a physical attack dagger is present also towards Hate. It can't be denied though that Benikidi will be getting more gold or maybe something. I'm not so sure yet. We want to revisit that, but it will be no surprise if Benikidi really has an accelerated gold. He is in the
Yeah.
gold lane and he is winning.
It makes no sense if Benny Cutie on the Leomord goes for the
Bloodlust, right?
Bloodlust
Yeah.
axe, because the thing is, if you think about it, the other team is banking on sustain. So if you're gonna out sustain a Thams, if you're gonna
Yes,
out
true, true.
sustain a Uranus, it won't make sense because technically they are better sustain heroes
Yeah,
than you.
yeah.
So if you're
Compared
gonna
to the item
if
sustain,
yeah, if you're gonna bandage it with a bloodless axe and think that it's gonna make sense for you,
Yeah.
then it's not really, it's not really going to favor your side. But if you think about it, if you go for a blade of despair, they don't have their core items. When you step on them with Barbiel, the Phantom Steed,
whatever regeneration.
whatever regeneration there is, it's gonna take a heavy chunk out of their HP,
Yeah.
and it could take them to 30%, where Leomord shines more.
Yeah, yeah, and my man, it's a bit slow and a bit less obvious compared to our game number 1, but Execration has another unique composition that made it work here for our game number 2 against Blue Fire. Even with this technical pause, guys, I think it's kind of set already. For that, we have returned, guys.
And look at this, 2 rockets.
Yeah, I was thinking if the damage would be enough. I honestly thought it might be an execute or it might be a finisher for the Fanny, but yeah,
Probably at 4.
probably at 4.
Probably at 4 rockets, it could make sense. But here is where invades matter, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and there's retribution, so there's really no chance of Chu denying that. And
Look at
yeah,
look at Louis just staying
Maintaining
into the
the lane.
mid lane. And
Yeah.
you know what? What I'm actually surprised about here is you put a Louis into the middle lane. Sheila doesn't have the certain mobility secret here. Is between the crossfire here of 3 heroes of Execration, and he won't really live. But putting a Louis into the middle lane, He doesn't have that certain amount of mobility, you know. But the thing is, they made it work again.
And it's a very defensive hero.
Yeah.
The Loyi. You just put your first skill here. You just put your dispersion, and you could have a lane that you can steadily shove and clear. And well, Unseen is just dancing around. He's not fully backing. That's very risky for him. If Benecuti decides to go, good thing the Barber is already down for that side. Curse of Crow, energy impact not gonna be connecting, and of course with that, Execration would just retreat by a bit just so they can take this turtle, guys. Guys, the lead is too much. Get 6k here. Legion Sword 2 onto the side here of Hate. Also a kill. No, actually the turtle secured for him. And even the Mounting Shocker would hurt a lot against the side of Blue Fire here. The only built item that I'm seeing would be of a Queen's Wings and, of course, a Clock of Destiny for Blue Fire.
But hey, you know what? Execration here, they are making things work onto their side. And I saw that there is an enchanted talisman for Louis here. Mana regeneration is going to be on point, but look at this.
Yeah. And there is the ult from Puzakin. Oh my god!
it it just stopped them on their tracks.
I mean, there's the ult on the ground by Puzakin. It's a bit late, actually. I'm not sure what happened there, but it is what it is. Killing spree.
You know what? It's counterintuitive to actually use wings by wings to get into an area here
Yeah.
for unseen. Because the thing is, once they see unseen in another lane, the other lanes go, and the side lanes that there is an access of the Farsa in terms of predator airstrike is just gonna back off.
Yeah.
So it's not really working right now. The fights aren't really focused into one lane as our previous meta does, but now we can see that there is going to be a bit of a dilemma in terms of just picking that Farsa.
Yeah. And we are now here onto the last turret outside the base here of Blue Fire. Teleport. Actually, diversion coming in from the Loyi. Followed up with that Mounting Shocker. Not gonna be bought here by the Blue Fire. And I think this is gonna be very difficult. All you need is to just have Chakno go in. This is a bit slower compared to the Kufra. Totally understandable. You're using the Jawhead, but Jawhead has higher pressure.
If you think about it, Limbs is only at level 6, and that's because Chakno isn't giving him anything free.
Yeah.
It takes a Fanny to use all of his energy on Chakno just to get something. So that means he's forced to always go out.
Man, 9k on the gold lead here for the side of Execration. Even Hate here can easily solo a turtle without having to worry for anything. I'm actually I'm of course this is Blue Fire. We are still watching. This is a Blue Fire match. We are still watching, but I wouldn't be surprised that really a team which is comes prepared even by just a margin against another team, and totally understand one mechanic of the next project, next patch against their opponent. I think yeah, it could lead to one-sided series, really one-sided matches, really, because you can drafting and of course laning is as close to a checkmate. You can already set up a checkmate just by laning and just drafting alone.
And look at the nuke coming out here from Louis, and this is pressure on all sides of the map. Blue Fire, they are defending. They're trying to fight this, but look at Limbs with a few slashes and a few hits of an arrow. He's forced to go back.
Yeah. Well, they need to go steady here. Sa gitno, kiting back. There is a very beautiful ejector there against a secret delivered towards Sagitno.
Okay.
All right, there is one kill. But of course, Benekiri will be cleaning up. Demon Hunter Sword already available here for Hate, and they will follow through. The next one would be of Puzakin. Pushback done in by Benekiri. There goes the Grabicho. And under the feathered airstrike, Etmax will fall down. There goes Limbs. And Limbs will walk away.
And oh man, this is really just hard for the side of Blue Fire.
Yeah.
They cannot do anything at this point. Well, it takes a couple of mistakes for Execration for them to actually come back from this. But at this point, a team of a caliber like Execration, they won't really back down. And look at this going in.
Yeah, very good
Very
flicker there.
cutie.
Yeah, very good flicker there actually by Unseen. Especially the quick initiate by Benny Cutie. He's just baiting secret here. Maybe just establish pressure there, but at least we get a 10-minute mark. And I can feel a nice stall there by Blue Fire. Unseen is doing quite a good job in clearing the waves, defending properly, using the Farsa, just using the safe distance that the feathered airstrike provides for Farsa.
You know what? One of the things that I've noticed is if you have a good jungle rotation or a good jungle pattern into just getting the minions or the monsters, you can probably go solo lord at 10 minutes.
It is possible. I would agree.
Yeah. And
A solo lord, yeah.
a solo lord isn't that far fetched at
Yeah.
this point because you know what? It's MLBB.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Butters, we have a lot of gold in the early game. We have a lot of resources in the early game, and lots of resources in the early game could actually provide a lot of scaling for scaling heroes. And interestingly, Hate didn't focus under the turret here. Still, a no inhibitor turret will be knocked down against Blue Fire.
And look at Chaknu here. Wherever Limbs is, I am there as well.
Yeah.
He's not letting Limbs go out. It's like a master. It's like a dog on a leash. He's not letting it go.
Yes, especially, and the interesting part here is it's the dog that is actually catching the. It's the Pani that looks like a dog here on the leash. But let us see. The turret is still alive. Finally, Hate decides to go for it. It just only takes one hit to finish it. And yeah, inhibitor turret is down for that part. But still, the game is up and available for Blue Fire. But it's only a matter of time. Another diver by Benekti cancels out the feathered airstrike. Chaknun fully commits. He gets stopped by most of the members of Blue Fire. It doesn't stop him from killing Unseen though. And yeah, now that gives freedom for Hate again to target his second inhibitor turret down in the mid. They go for that top lane side. Benekti now will be going back into his normal form as the Barbiel will expire. There is going to be Sagitnu stay into the front line. Chaos Darkening will be casted. Fade away, actually. And now he has his Brilliance on. It's going to be Limbs missing some of the cables, ladies and gentlemen. But the moment it goes in towards Sagitnu, Sagitnu will be casting that Order of Brilliance. And yeah, that's it.
I'm actually
Yeah.
seeing Sagitnu with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
That Sagitnu's meta was actually the carry side lane. Where you have all the time in the world to get farm for your side lane. It doesn't matter if you have 2 cores.
And scale, right?
And scale.
To-
So I think with 2 very strong cores, or 3 strong cores from the side of Execration, they can make this work on their favor.
And fighting is a very difficult hero to be utilized. Oh my god, a full combo here done by the members of Execration. This is the explosiveness that we are waiting for. Even in this one-sided game, layered with everything from Hate's Mountain Shark to Benny Curie's Barbiel. I think that might be it. We get some minion wave still. Fuzaken and also Chu is still alive. Etamax will be going back. He does have his ultimate on. He can easily teleport in and diversion onto the base here of Blue Fire. TPs are also coming in. Wave clear onto Benny Curie. Hate is also kiting back. Chu is just dancing around. And Limbs is going to be there. Again, I just want to go back to my point that the Fan is really not an easy hero here to be utilized ever since, at the start of Mobile Legends. She is like a hero that invites challenge to a lot of players. And yeah, I mean, we are seeing here, even though there is some good performance there on the Fanny, and it takes a lot of mastery actually to get it to this level, I think Limbs needs some improvement still on the cable work. On the cable work in that Fanny, because we're seeing some missed cables for that part. There goes Chakno, they go for the dive. Two into the front line. Flicker in, no ejector. And there goes Limbs. He wants to get into the base of the other team. He gets chased down by Benekri along with Hate. And I think that's it. Already one skill unlocked for Hate here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's still an artillery minion. Etomax also going to be receiving some damage from the Blue Cars defense squad. Remember that it's only just 4 members alive. Benekri in critical health. Chakno also goes for the dive. Barbil is still online for Benekri, but of course, onto the side there goes Chu. He wants to target him. He wants to target Benekuri. They go for the wave clear. They're just dancing around. There goes Chaknu onto the side. And Blue Fire tries to maintain composure. Benekuri flickers in. Wants to make an explosive pick. And he has done so. And that is it. 2-0. Ladies and gentlemen, for the side of Execration.
Execration here just showing us that their understanding in terms of the game being annoying and just exerting, just flexing that map control that they have. They make it work on their side, and goodness gracious, It's a 2-0.
I'm just happy that we see, even if we see 2-0s here, even if this is totally within our expectations against Blue Fire. I'm just happy that we see something different, we see something unique, and that is mainly from the side of Execration. The best part is seeing something unique and you see it work.
Yeah.
We have a side lane Lunox, we have a Leomord getting reintroduced, we have the YSS being played not just in the jungle position but also on the gold lane.
Yeah.
Gold lane position.
Whatever Execration did there was self-explanatory. You saw that as well. It was an open book. It was a storybook for kids that everyone can actually read and understand. Then again, you can do that too. See, this is what we were telling you about, that the new patch isn't really daunting as long as you put a bit of creativity, imagination, and all those stuff. You can really make it work, and that was actually a good strategy from Execration.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-1-2, and even us, we think that we can do that for our certain games that will happen in the
Yeah,
near future.
and I think it follows through with what we are advising. It's fun. It's
Yeah, it's
fun.
fun.
Watching it is fun. Casting it is fun. I would dare say even playing it might be fun as well.
Yeah.
Execution. From the looks of it, they actually had fun in doing that. But it takes more than that to actually fully conclude what the project next patch is. I would dare say even the Bren ending the winning streak of Bren done in by Omega, it's not enough to really conclude the project next patch. Even this one is not enough yet to conclude the project next patch. I'm not so sure if the whole week, if the whole week until Sunday is enough to actually conclude what we can say about the project next patch. Anyway, guys, that's it for our time. It has been an honor to shout us for these games, guys. We're gonna be passing it on to our resident analyst, Manjin.
Creation. Direct, may analysis? Oh, okay, may analysis. May analysis pa pala. Sorry, Direct. Tinanggal ko na yung code ko eh. Blue Fire, guys. Yes, sabi nga dito ni na Wolf, hawakan na lang natin. Sabi nga dito ni na Wolf, kaya pa nilang mag-survive. But then again, sobrang miracle na yung kailangan nila. Isang napakalaking himala yung kailangan nila. Looking at the items right now, guys. Tignan natin. Aray. Yeah, uwi na talaga, no? Joke lang. 7-0-4 si Hate. Total dominance even though nagkaroon ng first blood, no? Even though nagkaroon ng first blood dito ang Blue Fire. Let's look at the funny stat. Mukhang sinabi na lang ng Blue Fire dito sa kanilang last game na, sige, i-funny mo na. Tapusin na natin ang laban. Sige, gano'n na lang. Nothing to win, nothing to lose. Attitude na lang ang ginawa dito ng team ng Blue Fire. Then again, they're up against a team na kailangan ng sobrang daming puntos para makabalik sa ating laban. And man, Execration showed us something else, especially highlighting this player, Chaknu, on the jaw head. There you go. That jaw head, Chaknu, no? I think there's an heavy emphasis on the buffs na ukunat kapag maraming umaatake. So going on to our post-game stats, Chaknu, ladies and gentlemen, 2 times niyang tinanggalan ng buffs si Lims dito. Umabot na sa point na boom, 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 pow. 0 ang naging tower damage ng Team Blue Fire and it was a total love set. Kung naglalaro kayo ng billiards at ng pool, gets nyo yon, wala silang nakuhang kahit anong objective on that game. Sige, isang orange buff, 2 purple buff. Then again, after nung pangalawang kuha ni Chaknu dito ng purple buff, it all went down para sa team ng Blue Fire. Nawala na sila ng pag-asa. Looking into the smart highlights of the game, syempre, I think pwede natin makita dyan yung mga ginawa ni Chaknu mismo na space created para syempre kay Leomord. Ito yon. Boom. I think saktong tinimingan na nga lang ni Chaknu yung kanyang ejector. Makikita mo kasi yan kapag bumuelo na yung jawhead dito, makikita mo na talagang mag-ejector na siya, and I think Alam ni na Lims yun. Unfortunately, hindi pa enough yung damage ng kanyang retribution. Lims was at level 4 up until the 5-minute mark. And these enemies ay umaabot na ng level 7, level 8. Ganoon ka-dominant ang Team Execration on this game, on this season, Shin. And wow, Lu Yi, I think this is the first time na may nakita tayong Lu Yi, or probably the third time. Basta hindi natin siya masyadong nakikitang umaksyon, pero pinakita siya ng Execration. This time, I think nagkakaroon lang yung Execration actually ng mga plays na talagang nagiging agresibo na sila. Kasi alam na nila yung kung gaano kalakas yung items nila. Unfortunately, for Team Blu Fire, kulang yung item power spike nila. Kulang yung kalakasan nila to make an outplay. And now for our smart MVP, makikita natin, siya ay walang iba kundi syempre si Hate, no? Yishon Shin, 7, magmamatay ulit 7 minutes in. 7 minutes in, Hate was at level 12. And then, Lims ay level 6. Level 6, man. Pag minus mo yan, 6. Ang bilis. Wala pa 0.0 seconds, na-solve ko yung math na yon, no? 6 levels ahead si Hate against the hyper carry hero. Of course, with 98,000 gold, 704, napakabilis, napaka-aga. I really think na, si Chakno, I think, ang pwedeng MVP on that game. Pero syempre, with a given record and with the KDAs, it's still Hate. So Hate just proving himself to still be one of the great carries of the tournament na aabangan nating lahat. Syempre, ang interesting kasi dito, Execration now aangat ng 3 points, no? On Group A, so ang naglalaban sa points right now is Omega, Exe, and Bren. No? I think NXP, kailangan pa nila ng 2 games para makapasok doon. Wow. By the way, hindi pa pala tuloy ang OE dahil meron pa tayong interview portion. Atin ang kausapin ang walang iba, the captain of Execration. Ito Max, man, congratulations sa 2-0. Una sa lahat. Hello, man.
Thank you, Sir Manjin.
Yon, man. Interesting na ikaw na ang naging team captain ngayon ng Execration. Kahapon, actually, hello, Shaknu. Yan. Hindi pala kahapon. Nung nakarang araw, nagkaroon ng big patch yung MPL. Bilang captain dito ng Execration, paano nyo na-formulate yung strategy nyo for today? Anong na-experience nyo dito sa bagong patch?
Actually, nung paglabas nung bagong patch, naglaro lang kami para malaman kung ano ba yung mga pwedeng adjustment na gawin namin. So, hindi lang din naman ako, bilang captain, hindi lang din ako nag-isip nun. Siyempre, tulungan naman kami lahat dito. Lalo na
may smoke effects, may smoke effects.
Sapno, yan. Ayun. Kumbaga, tulungan kami lahat dito kahit yung mga hindi nyo nakikita sa camera, syempre tumutulong din sila.
So
sa lahat.
Total team effort, no? Nag-brainstorm kayo para doon sa buong meta na ginawa ninyo. Anong idea na actually paano nyo na nalaman na na tong mid-mage tapos 2 yung baba Parang sino yung nagsabi noon? Paano nyo na formulate 'yon?
Kasi 'di ba since yung mga side lanes kasi ngayon parang sobrang laki na ng pera na nabibigay
Oo.
Yun kasi yung sobrang ganda na ng kumbaga every role may kayang magkapera. So hindi na katulad dati na may panel strat na kanya kukunin nila. Pero yung mga side lanes kasi ngayon sobrang laki na ng pera. So kahit magstay lang sila sa sa lane nila is marami silang makukuha ang gold. Yun.
Talagang utilizing the laning phase para kay Kuya Eto Max. Men, again, congratulations. Congratulations. Pangatlo ata kayo ngayon sa standings. Anong masasabi mo sa mga future na makakalaban mo ngayong MPL? Sa mga teams na makakalaban nyo? Yung
Thank you sa lahat ng sa mga kalaban ba namin?
Oo, mga kalaban nyo. NXP, mga kalaban nyo, October 2 ah.
Oo nga pala, NXP. Yun, so, sa NXP, excited na rin kami syempre since bagong patch. Syempre, marami ring utak doon panigurado. So, magbubungguan na naman ang mga bagong meta yun. Pakitaan ulit natin ng magandang series yung mga manonood dyan. Abangan nyo.
Bait na. Bait na, Kuya Eto Max. Okay, Kuya Eto Max, final shoutouts and saan ka namin makikita, no? Promote mo yung mga pages mo.
Okay. Shoutout nga pala syempre, una-una thank you rin kay God sa binigay na panalo sa amin. Tsaka sa mga boss namin, kala Boss Arvin, sa humahawak ng Execration, kala kay mo, kala Makay, sa mga tumutulong din sa amin, kala Billy, kala Pakbet, kala Hito. Yan. Tsaka thank you sa lahat ng pansa sumuporta kahit na lost streak kami noong nakaraan. Yun. Babawi tayo ngayon.
Babawi ang Execration coming from the captain of Itomax, of Execration Itomax. Congratulations muli sa inyong team.
Ay, Manjin.
Oh.
Shoutout lang pala. Ay, nakalimutan ko sa girlfriend ko pala.
Sige, shoutout mo. Batiin mo, tol.
Shoutout sa girlfriend ko.
Sino?
Si Kat.
Ayos. And binabati ka ni Eto Max, mahal na mahal ka niyan. And again, congratulations, Team Execration sa 3 points. Congrats, Eto Max. Kita-kits sa susunod.
Ay, thank you.
Alright, guys. That has been it. Time check. Maaga pa rin ang uwian. Ayan, 9:53 sa aking Realme Watch. Wow. Ayan, syempre, ating tignan ang current standings ng ating tournament para syempre sa updated standings ng ating tournament. Umangat ang Execration, of course, now having 14 points, tied with Blacklist International. Meanwhile, you have Omega right now na pangalawa pa din, no? Even though they won earlier, same ang naging standings natin for today. Still, ang kailangan nating tignan dito, I think, is Group B. Kasi kung Group A, I think sobrang clear na kung sino yung apat, no? Parang 80% na akong naniniwala na yung apat na yan. Make that 95% pala. Yung apat na upper teams ang papasok sa playoffs. And Group B, malayo-layo pa ang kanilang lalakbayin. BSB, Signal Ultra, and Onyx PH naglalaban doon sa 4th slot. So with this guys, I hope na sana nag-enjoy kayo for today, and I really hope na manood din kayo bukas kasi nga para sa ating mga schedule for tomorrow, nandiyan ay ang Omega versus Signal Ultra, interesting match, no, para sa fourth slot. Blacklist versus Aura, interesting match din. Aura nangunguna dito, but kung manalo ang Blacklist, pwede silang umangat ng 1 puntos. Siyempre, nandiyan na rin ang Onyx versus BSB. Much needed win for BSB and much needed win din para sa Onyx PH. Magkita-kita tayo, guys, 6 p.m. Nandyan din yan, di ba? So, by the way, bago ako magbabay ulit, nandito ang ating giveaway code. So, go ahead, screenshot nyo na to para makakuha kayo ng mga awesome prizes and skins. Meron din tayong bonus giveaway code kasi nga, lagi kayong sumasali sa ating mga paraffle, no? 13,000 ang sumali. So, yan, screenshot nyo na, i-type nyo na. Nako, ang bilis. Baka hindi nyo na type. Replay nyo na lang. And syempre, visit bit.ly/MRD -week 7 -W7 para makasali kayo sa ating mythical raffle draw. There you go. Ayan. Kung nagsali kayo ng season ng week 1, hindi season 1. Since season 1 sumali kayo hanggang playoffs, pwede kayo makasali para umabot kayo sa ating legendary raffle draw. There you go. Syempre, again, maraming salamat po sa ating official tournament telco partner, Smart. Squad up, rank up, and keep up with your favorite teams as Smart powers up your game with free games for all. Get up to 14 gig of Mobile Legends and Facebook gaming for 7 days. Simply download the new Giga Life app and choose free games. Official sponsor, Realme, the Philippines' fastest charging smartphone. Realme 7 and Realme 7 and 7 Pro, 6 Pro pa lang, mabilis pa rin. Alongside, we'll be launching this 30th of September. Abangan yan, 12 noon sa official page ng Realme sa Facebook. Join the Realme Revolution now. Kasama rin natin ang isa pang official sponsor, Gillette. Get free diamonds with every purchase of Gillette's Mach 3 Razor, Vector 3 Razor, or Blue 3 Simple Force Pack in select Pure Gold doors nationwide. Siyempre, kasama rin natin ang partner natin in esports. Get free 50 peso credits from Paymaya when you download and register using the code MLBB. Terms and conditions apply. So register na. Kasama na rin natin ang ating partner in esports. Ayos ba yun yung ko? TikTok. Ayan, just go ahead and search hashtag Mobile Legends sa TikTok para makapanood kayo ng mga legendary videos and baka pwede pa kayo manalo ng mga premium and legendary skins. Siyempre, official gaming headset partner, Logitech G, here like a pro, and powered by Muton. Wala nang iba pa. Sinabihan na nga ako ni Direk na okay na, pwede na kami mag-pack up. It's a wrap for today. Ako nga po pala si Manjin Faldas. Please like my page kung gusto nyo lang. Kung ayaw nyo, okay lang. Hindi naman tayo nagpipilitan. At Manjin Faldas, ladies and gentlemen, that has been day number 1 of week 6 nitong MPL Season 6. Siyempre, bago tayo umalis, papanoorin muna natin ang Realme Top 5 plays for today. Once again, Manjin Faldas, MPL Season 6. Peace out.
You came to be great? Now you can with the new Smart GigaGames 99. Get 1 gig data all day, every day for Mobile Legends and more. You came to be great with Smart GigaGames 99.
The way you live your life depends on the network you choose. Your movies, music, and games can only be as good as your network speed and strength. Slow means game over. But the Philippines' fastest mobile data network means game changing. Choose the network that gives you what you truly enjoy. How do you know about this Giga Life? Simple eh? Smart ako.
When uncertainty is our reality, we rise above with the things that matter. Gigify happiness. Gigify love. Gigify friendship. Gigify dreams. Gigify hope. With smart Giga music, video, games, work, and stories, we let our passions run free in the new world we face together. Smart, live Giga.
Realme 7 Pro, 65-watt charging evolution. Realme smartphone, dare to leap.
Kaya, don't pay cash. Pay Maya. Para may balik bayad ka.
You've got me on the edge.
Legit, right? Not quite. Just like your disposable razor. It's time you switch your disposable razor for your legit first shave so you can be every bit legit. Gillette Mac 3.
For a closer shave, less irritation, switch
to Gillette Mac 3.
T-Mobile and Sprint have merged, and T-Mobile doesn't just have a bigger network, but a better one than ever before, with scam protection built into its core. Introducing Scam Shield,